ice bags. But simple math. One team leads 3-2. Last game's sparkling plays are far too old. Game 6 for Montreal is the ultimate threat. For the Rangers, a tremendous chance because Game 6 is simple math. Game 7 would be a crapshoot. From the marvelous atmosphere of Molson Center in Montreal, Fox Sports proudly presents the Stanley Cup playoffs. Rangers 3, Canadiens 2. Good afternoon, everyone. Along with John Davidson, I'm Mike Emmerich. Historically, Montreal has lived on its power play, but not this week. It's 0 for the last 15. What's wrong?
Well, Mike, 0 for the last 15, 1 for the last 19, only 2 for 25 in this series. It's been a problem for them. Yesterday, Montreal had a 3-hour meeting with their coaching staff, a lot of it relating to the power play itself. Today, they want to try new wrinkles to break out of their own zone so they can set up in the Rangers zone. But if it doesn't go, it may be going, gone, Montreal.
Well, we've talked about Brian Leetch and Mark Messier recovering from injury, but what about the goaltender, Mike Richter?
Well, Mike Richter in December had a great month for the Rangers. He then tore a groin muscle, missed 2 months of action, and some wondered if he'd get back to his top form. Well, he's back. He's given the Rangers a chance to take the lead in each of the last 3 games. He's been on a good roll for this hockey club. And remember this, you talk about Montreal's power play. One of the reasons they haven't been scoring, quite simply put, is Mike Richter's goaltending. He's been just fabulous, and he, I think, is the main reason why the Rangers have a chance to shut Montreal down today.
At the other end, Jocelyn Thibault is only 21, has faced an average of 36 shots a game in the series. He's been superb. People here aren't talking about Patrick Waugh anymore. Don Koharski in charge of the game, Mark Wheeler and Wayne Bonney, the linesmen, the standbys, Lance Roberts and Tim Nowak. The off-ice officials are from Ottawa. Koivu with a pass for Turner Stevenson, but it is Sundstrom. Kane Tall matched up with Odeline on defense for Montreal, the same combination they used to start Game 5. Koivu and Brunet and Stevenson up front. Stevenson tried to tap one to the front, denied by Leetch, and it's poked further by Graves. Graves and Churla, and now Messier has hopped over the board.
And you see that happening, so you know Dom Foose will come off the bench for Montreal to go opposite Messier.
Messier's wrister is wide. Ulf Samuelsson plays it back off. Messier behind, could not center. And so Stevenson back. Odeline. Dom Foose checked off, and the puck flipped away. But it's turned around for a drive by Brunet. That was wide. Fade along now to Churla as Messier took a hit from Dom Foose. Shane Churla poked it back in. Odeline to play it back out for the Canadiens. 3-2 in favor of the Rangers. Are you as concerned about the first 10 minutes of this one if you're the Rangers as you were last Sunday?
No, because the Rangers lead the series and are much more comfortable with their game. Montreal is the team that needs a good first 10 minutes, especially here on home ice, to get rid of their jitters, to get their fans involved. Mike, Game 4 here last week, 60 shots Montreal attempted. 14 of them went wide, 17 blocked by the Rangers, and already one has been blocked by the Rangers.
Vincent Damphousse, 2 goals, the tire and the overtime winner. And then in Game 2, he came back with 2 more with 2 assists. It was 2-0 Montreal. Messier rallied his team, and Adam Graves got a couple on feeds from Messier, who in Game 4 wound up getting his very first of the series. And then it was Game 5, and the Rangers took that one too. Brian Leetch got his first goal of the series.
In this game, the Rangers have dressed 7 defensemen for the first time in the series. Barry Richter dressing. Karpatsev is out. Kevin Lowe back in the lineup. For Montreal, a small, tricky forward, Petrov, is not dressed. A bigger, rugged winger by the name of Murray is in the lineup. Montreal wants to play a bigger game on home ice.
We should report that there were no huge theatrics during the warm-up. Although Pat Jablonski, the backup goaltender, did sail a puck down the ice into the vacated Ranger net at the end. This gamesmanship seems to be continuing in a number of series. Yeah, it's nothing new.
They're under control here pretty well, though. Again, I'll mention the shots that in Game 4, the last game here in Montreal, Mario Tremblay's club attempted 60 shots at Mike Richter. 14 of them went wide. 17 of them were blocked by Ranger players. Here already, the first chance that Montreal had, the shot went off a Ranger skate blade and wide of Mike Richter. So they really want to concentrate on getting their shot through. For the Rangers, They want to continue to forecheck, bump, grind, hit. And right now, with Kovalov and Berg on the ice, Verbeek doesn't normally play with them, but they want to start forechecking and work the Montreal defense.
Work it down low right where it is. Here's Berg. Hustled it well wide. Brisebois steps to that one. Kovalov takes his pass. Bruce Driver with a pass back over to Kovalov. Worked ahead by Verbeek. Stepping in is Bill Berg. Berg centered one, and Brisebois was able to cover that one. Now Brashear. Big Donald Brashear hands it on to Chris Murray.
Already a penalty here. The Euro was pulled down by Kovalov in the neutral zone, and so there will be a penalty. And the first power play goes to Montreal. 4 of the 5 games, the Rangers have scored first. The last 3 games, the Rangers have scored first. Now here's Montreal's opportunity with that power play we talked about as Kovalov goes for interference in the neutral zone. The power play for Montreal, they really miss a big defenseman by the name of Malakoff. He's out with a knee injury. He's the quarterback. He moves the puck up ice quickly for Montreal to set their power play up in the Rangers zone. Now let's see if Montreal can find a way to get their power play going, and a good place to start it is a face-off in the Rangers zone.
John was mentioning shots. In Game 5, the Canadiens were 0 for 4 on the power play and did not get a shot on net at all on the power play.
In fact, the Rangers had 6 shots shorthanded.
And there's a great tradition here, not only for the Canadiens teams and all the championships, but also for having a great power play, not just a good one and not just being a terrible one like they have now, but a tradition for greatness. And it has not been here.
Here's a good face-off gain by Montreal. Turgeon, Messier thrown out, so Don Foos goes against Graves and wins.
Wilkie a shot, and it got the boards on a tip. Don Foos with a pass over for Bure. Larry Bure rolled it back off. Turgeon fed for Recchi, then back to Turgeon again. It was first period of Game 3, the last time that the Canadiens connected, and it was Recchi who got it. Worked in by Turgeon. Don Foos fed one in front, and it's tipped away by Messier. Now Bure yanks it on back to Turgeon. Valerie Bure looking things over. Fed to Turgeon. Shoveled one off of Leach. Turgeon swirls to it and then controls. Backhander in front, went off a skate. It's Bure again, angling for Turgeon. Chopped away by Bukaboom, but taken by Bure. Then along to the turning Mark Recchi. To the back, Wilkie shot. A sprawling block by Adam Graves, and it's taken by Messier.
At the end of a penalty-killing shift for Messier, he's buying time because he knows 3 teammates are changing. Montreal's now attempted 4 shots at Mike Richter. Not one has gotten through.
Bure bringing it back up ice for the Canadiens. Took some lumber from Jari Kurri. Trouble for Koivu as Kurri was on him. Kurri took a swat from Ulf Samuelsson. Kovalenko behind, but Kevin Lowe prevails, and it's cleared by Sundstrom. Earlier in the series, they were booing their captain, Pierre Turgeon. Attention is now shifted to Kovalenko as well. And Kovalenko is empty in this series. No goals, no assists.
Very few people thought he'd even dress today, and here he is on the second power play unit for his first shift.
3-1, a drop by Samuelsson on that one. Saku Koivu hands it across for Kane Call. 15 to go. Brisebois shot is answered by Richter. Koivu yanked it to the point, and it went away from Brisebois and back down.
That was the 6th shot Montreal's attempted here in the first 4.5 minutes. And the first one that got through, it was from Brisebois, the defenseman, and there was no screen whatsoever. An easy save for Mike Richter. So the Rangers have done a real good job in blocking shots. They killed the penalty that's now 16 straight that Montreal have failed on with their power play.
Unbelievable. 1:20 of attack time for the Canadiens and 1 shot on goal.
This will be the only shot Montreal had, but there's really nobody down there for Mike Richter. Look at the lane where the shot is. Man, even the guy that was up high, that guy, he got out of the way, Savage. And Richter had an easy time making the save. It's Mercury somebody, they told me.
Who has not been around decap lately, you can tell. Ulf Samuelsson goes back to watch this tap by Richter. Mike Richter, 90 minutes before the game, was running in the hallway in his sweat. He was going for a run. That's part of the way he gets prepared for a game. Robitaille trying to get through, and he's checked off by Fitzpatrick. Burning off a little excess energy, nervous energy. This will be icing.
off.
Waved off indeed, and it's Bury. Nemchinov tried to clear. Wolf Samuelson. And then along to Doug Lidster. Lidster in his second game of this playoff. Puck cut off by Don Fuss, who steps in. Rammed into by Samuelson, and Lidster cleared it out of play.
Called a cross-body block by Samuelson.
Now for this Pizza Hut game break. Let's go to Hollywood and James Brown.
Doc, Pittsburgh is on the board first. Take a look here on the power plays. Sergei Zubov from the blue line gets the shot. Stopped by Carey. Pavanka tries to clear it. Zubov keeps it in. Cross ice to Lemieux. He goes past Carey. 1-0 Penguins. Let's take it back to Doc Emmerich and John Davidson.
Jim Carey, thanks, JB. Jim Carey was saying, or Jim Carey was playing goal. Jim Schoenfeld was saying that he'd be playing goal in the next 2 games, today and Game 7. He's expecting a win, obviously. Joey Juneau not playing. He's out with bruised ribs for the Washington Capitals, and that certainly hurts them. They also lost Pat Peake due to a crushed heel as he went into the backboards in the last game. And Kenny Reggett, by the way, starting a goal again for Pittsburgh. And Tom Barrasso not even dressing. He's got a bad back right now.
Well, Reggett certainly deserves any kind of glory that could come to him. And not exclusively for that multiple overtime game in which he came on in relief and was just impressive. But he has been a guy that's sort of been the second guy during his career and has been unappreciated, I think, in Toronto and in Philadelphia and in Pittsburgh.
And the Dangerfield of goaltenders. Absolutely, I agree. Brashear with a big hit on Kevin Lowe. Those two players have really bumped into each other quite a bit in this series. And Kevin Lowe went down. He then got up and went to the Rangers bench. Brian Leetch took a hard hit in Game 5 of this series and had something called a stinger, which the neck and shoulder, the nerve up there was jammed, and the left arm of Brian Leetch went absolutely numb for 5 or 6 minutes. When the numbness went away, his arm was fine. Skated yesterday, practiced, and he's back in the lineup today.
See Bruce Driver, who will turn 34 tomorrow, so advanced birthday greetings to him. I think he'd like to have the day off. You think they'd get it if they win this game?
I would suspect so. Simply, you know, Mike, this is the 14th game in 27 days for the Rangers. 14th and 27. For Montreal, it's their 12th and 28. So there's a big difference there regarding who's had the majority of the rest in recent days. Montreal had a softer schedule down the end of the regular season schedule than did the Rangers, and that's why the difference.
Follow up from Messier. And back in.
Rangers passing not nearly as crisp through the neutral zone between the blue lines. They're not getting that rush heading up to the Montreal zone that they've had before.
This is Odelon. Leach's pass kicked across to Bukaboom, set it up for Messier. Mark Messier across. Score! Pass for Beek! And the first goal of the game comes to the Rangers.
And for Patty Verbeek, it's been a magnificent marriage all season long with Mark Messier. Messier's pass, with his speed, he backed the Montreal team up. Watch him move into the zone and back them up. Now here comes Verbeek. He's a right-handed shot. Messier had to put the pass behind Verbeek so he could sweep the puck ahead for the one-time, one-motion shot. And did he ever snap it over Thibault's shoulder? Marvelous pass by Messier. Marvelous shot by Patty Verbeek, and Thibault gets beat up high to the right side.
Another primary assist for Mark Messier on Verbeek's first of the series at 6:24. And the big haul has become very quiet.
Well, certainly it has. The first scoring chance the Rangers have had after Rangers had a good penalty kill and some good block shots.
Savage's shot chipped to the seats by Lidster. Bukaboom and Messier wind up getting the assists on Verbeek's goal at 6:24.
Rangers starting to get goals from players for the first time in the series. Leach scored his first goal in Game 5. Kovalov scored his first goal in Game 5. Things like that starting to happen for the Rangers now. Verbeek here gets his first goal of the series, and for them it's starting to happen.
Montreal, in all of its glorious history, has never lost a series after they've won the first 2 away from home. The Rangers, in all of their history, have never won a series after losing the first 2.
Montreal wins another faceoff in the Rangers zone, but it's twice now they've won a faceoff so clean it's gone right out over the blue line between the two defensemen. So they're thinking they're going to get defenseman's shot on goal. It goes right out of the Rangers zone.
The shot totals are 1-1. Verbeek has the only Ranger shot that went in. But you mentioned earlier the seal-up notion that Montreal has against the Rangers in the neutral zone. Do you think it's working so far?
Well, you know, Montreal is the only chances they've had to this point. We're on the power play, and the Rangers blocked all those shots. You haven't seen Montreal get the rush going. The fast speed game. These two teams are playing at even speed right now.
Curry pokes on to Robitaille. Luc Robitaille cruising with it. Shoveled it back off, and Turgeon couldn't come up with it, and then Sundstrom is given a hit by Fitzpatrick. The puck to Wilkie, tried for Turgeon, but it's back down. Turgeon to the bench, and the same for Ulf Samuelsson. Meanwhile, it's Lidster. 12:20 left in the first. The Rangers with a 1-0 lead and a 3-2 lead in the series. Glad you've joined us this afternoon on Fox. Pittsburgh has scored first in Washington. Detroit has scored first in Winnipeg, and the Rangers first here. So the visiting teams are doing very well. Kovalenko. Driver on him. Driver floated it off. Popovic couldn't come up with it. Stevenson with some help. Koivu hands over to Kovalenko. To Koivu! And a save made by Mike Richter. And a penalty.
Oh boy, they're going to be some booze here now. It's Kovalenko for the pick play. Interference. Power play Rangers. It'll be their first.
Andrei Kovalenko, interference at 8:11, and the Rangers go on the power play. They are 5 for 16 in the last 3 games. Boy, has it really gone well for them. At the same time, it's gone south for the Canadiens.
Adam Graves has 4 power play goals. This series had been primarily specialty team series. Montreal in Game 2 had 2 shorthanded goals, turned that game around. But specialty teams have gone the Rangers' way since that point, got them back in the series, even though the goal they have here has been a goal at even strength.
Leach closing off Koivu, but Koivu out-battles him. Tries a pass across, but it skipped off Leach to Driver, and it's steered ahead. Adam Graves brings it on with Verbeek, and it's off Koivu. Jammed along by Popovic, but kept alive back over to Driver. Bruce Driver fires one that's wide. It skips back to Leach. Brian Leach over to Messier. For Leach, but chipped away. Messier with the keep. Angles to Driver. Sends it around for Verbeek. Only goal scorer in the game, hands over to Messier. Then to Graves. Save made by Thibault. To the point now, Leach. Over to Driver again, nearing the halfway point of this power play, and he shot it off Verbeek. Now it's Leach moving in. Graves again, save, another shot, and a save by Thibault. Still they dribble, they score! And it counts. It's Graves. 2-0 in favor of the Rangers. And the Canadiens are protesting. Thibault feels he had it sealed.
I'm not so sure he had it sealed. He's a first save goaltender. The save was made. The Rangers have gone to the net, and this rebound was jammed underneath him. The referee right there on the goal line has a great look at this play. Shot by Graves, rebound, it's still loose, and it's now jammed under right there by Graves. It was loose the entire time. It appeared as though the goaltender Thibault was bumped into. Let's see how. Right there by his own player. His own player, Mark Bureau, knocked into the goaltender. Verbeek was there. He's allowed to be in the crease because the puck is in the crease. And Graves darted in behind and got the power play goal for the Rangers. They have a 2-0 lead.
Graves' 6th goal of the series, his 5th on the power play at 9:16. It is Recchi, but chopped away by Ulf Samuelsson. And Turgeon spun off by the spinning Kovalov. And around behind for Ulf Samuelsson again. It is quiet here, and the matter is quite weighty in this proud city where they have a hockey tradition and they don't tolerate losing. Kovalov moves in! Score! My goodness, Kovalov, and it's 3-0.
Mike, Alexei Kovalov was slashed in Game 5 of this series. His left arm is badly swollen. In fact, yesterday he couldn't even get his watch on his wrist. It was so swollen. Some of the swelling went down on his left arm around the hand, but the elbow is still badly swollen. Watch him take this loose puck and go, and keep his legs and strength going. And right through the legs, he puts a little soft backhand. 3-0 Rangers. They have had a great start. And Montreal right now, they have to figure out what they're going to do. Look at this right leg to give him balance with the defenseman's stick. The defenseman will go with the stick. Look at the right leg. Shield the puck beautifully by Kovalov. Strength, balance, and right through the leg. That is a marvelous, marvelous goal for the Rangers. The Rangers started this period with a penalty kill, and now it's been offense, and they're getting it from different lines. Look at the legs. Little opening, and there's the puck sliding through, and Thibault is showing cracks for the first time in the series.
Curry drops it to Robitaille. His shot is blocked down and then trapped by Thibault. There has not been the slightest move toward Pat Jablonski yet. Tremblay has glanced down that way, but that could be glancing at anyone at that end of the bench. But not any sort of whisper of a thought of him coming in yet.
Well, for Mario, this is something that he's not used to. He is a rookie, first-time coach. I don't think he'll ever be able to coach another team in this league. I think he's a Montreal Canadian. He was as a player. And I don't think he'd have a passion to coach at any other city in the National Hockey League. He's done a good job with his club, but now, oh boy, he's in tough.
Robitaille jammed away by Thibault, and the puck taken by Stevenson. We'll take care of some bookkeeping when we get a moment. For those of you keeping score, we owe you the assist on the 2 quick Ranger goals. Puck wrapped back off, and Sundstrom up with it. Now to Robitaille, and a save made by Thibault. They score! Kovalov! Or check that, it is Curry. Jari Curry, number 17, is able to slam that one home, and it is 4-0.
Curry's second goal of the series. The Rangers are running away with it here. Thibault's a programmed first-save goaltender, and Jablonski now is getting the call from the bench. The hook goes to Thibault, the young 21-year-old goaltender. And you can see what Montreal's system, Mike, is this. Goalie make the first save, defenseman get rid of the puck. That was the goalie making the first save. Then the defenseman was beaten to the puck by Curry. And I think Montreal's defense, who have been beaten badly here, should be the people blamed more than Thibault, the young goaltender. Jablonski will come off the bench. He catches with his right hand, which is much different than Thibault. And for Thibault, the young man, he's had a terrific playoff experience except for the last 10 minutes here. 10 minutes, 18 seconds, where the Rangers have beaten them 4 times. Again, they are programmed in Montreal as goaltenders. Make the first save, defense clear the rebound. And the Rangers are getting the rebounds here and scoring. Rangers beat the defenseman cleanly. It was Jari Curry who got through to score the 4th goal.
Robitaille and Sundstrom get the assist on Curry's goal at 10:18. 4-0. Who'd have thought? Here come the Rangers. It is Messier and John. Oh, and Jablonski's first stop has to be a good one. And that keeps it from being 5-0. And we'll see if Montreal's play picks up as the result of the goalie change.
You know something? The Montreal Canadiens have been the quicker team in this series. Right now, the Rangers are the quicker team by a mile. They are quicker. They're making better passes now. They're getting the rebounds. Messier knew that Jablonski had just stepped into the series for the first time, and this is game 6. He had done nothing but practice. And Messier immediately put the low shot on Jablonski. It challenged him, and there's the young man Thibault, who was trying to put away the memories of Patrick Roy, the famous now Colorado goaltender, not Montreal Canadian goaltender. He'd done a good job of it to this point.
Boy, he sure had. I mean, you didn't hear nor read anything about Patrick Roy, really, except in the reports in the Colorado-Vancouver series.
The difference is Patrick Roy just won a series with
That's
Colorado.
right.
They now move on, likely to play Chicago. And Thibault, looks like, will be moving on to take the offseason and maybe play some golf. I know we're in the first period here. It's 4-0. But they just don't look good.
Down to the ice went Savage.
Power
The
play.
ice will come a Ranger. Midway, first period. Rangers 4, Canadiens nothing. Luc Robitaille hooking at 11-12. And so the Canadiens back on the power play. Luc Robitaille with minutes 3 and 4 in the series. Just 1 assist for Robitaille. We're in game number 6. It is Bukaboom hacking one back off. It could not be kept by Valeri Bure. Graves' power play goal came from Leach and Verbeek at 9:16. At 9:43, Kovalov from Samuelson. And at 10:18, Jari Curry from Robitaille and Sundstrom. A denial by Richter on the shot by Turgeon. Murray over to Dom Foose. Pucks it over for Mark Recchi. To have any hope the Canadiens have to score here, Wilkie a shot, and that ricocheted back out from Boogeboom and is cleared.
So that now gives Robitaille 2 assists in the series.
Yeah.
Shots are now 11-4 in favor of the Rangers. Montreal with that good wrist shot by Turgeon. That's the strongest part of his game, the wrist shot. And Richter with a save.
John, did you notice anything earlier today that would have given you an idea that we'd see 4-0 Rangers?
Well, we thought we'd see a little more life from Montreal in warm-up, and I know this is hindsight, and it is strictly hindsight, but we were talking about it up here in the booth. How the Rangers had a lot of movement in their warm-up. Montreal was very flat, standing around. You can't prejudge a game like that, but certainly I guess it was a sign.
Brunet across, and his shot is blocked by Lowe. Rebound. Oh, they can't jam it to the front, and then a penalty coming up.
The fans didn't hear the whistle. We certainly did. It will be no goal. There's a holding call coming up against someone. What a play by Kevin Lowe. As this is Montreal, vintage Montreal, on the rush, even though it is the power play. Can tell. Look at those white jerseys. 4 of them heading over the blue line. Now watch Kevin Lowe here on Kovalenko. Block the shot. There's a holding penalty coming up. It's Samuelson who drew his man down on the far side on that pass across by Kovalenko. The whistle had already sounded long before the puck went into the goal. There's the play on the right side. You can't quite see it, where Samuelson pulled down his man. I believe it was Koivu. So we'll have a 5-on-3. Look at on the near side. Samuelson on Koivu. Puts his arm around him. Koivu is stopping. And you see the holding penalty being called against Ulf Samuelson. So the Montreal Club have a 5-on-3 here for 47 seconds. The Rangers, one of their best penalty-killing defensemen, Ulf Samuelson in the penalty box. This is huge for Montreal. Simply put, first period, but it's huge.
Canadiens 1 for 2 on 5-on-3s in the series. Brisebois to Wilkie. Dom Foose has trouble. Leach on him. Recchi. Turgeon. Brisebois. Recchi. Score! That is 1. And that is life in Montreal.
Recchi, third goal of the series. What a great pass by Brisebois, and the light has come back a little bit in this building. You know, Richter had a chance at this with his goal stick, but he fanned on it. Look at the passes. 1-2 passes so far. Now you're going to see a third little pass right there. Here's the fourth. 5-on-3, remember. Here's the fifth, and here's the key pass, the sixth. A little redirection, not a hard shot by Recchi. Watch the goal stick of Richter. He waved at this, and I thought he had it. And he actually was over top of the puck, but didn't get the stick down quite in time. This should be a real good look at this. There's the puck, and oh, baby, was that close. Recchi gets his third goal of the series, and Montreal still in the power play.
Wilkie rips it back in. Leach couldn't control. Instead, it's Turgeon with 90 seconds of power play time left. Recchi wanted to shoot. Now does! And it's knocked down in front by a leg. Recchi and Brisebois and Wilkie and Dom Foose and Turgeon for Montreal.
Here's the Montreal breakout. See if they have more success. One long pass. Dom Foose heads up. And they gain the zone. That's nicely done by Montreal.
Dom Foose tried to trickle it through, and the Rangers blocked it. Turgeon up with it. Turgeon hands to Wilkie, then crisply over to Dom Foose, able to shake it back along, but it's taken away and cleared out by Lidster. 55 left on the man advantage. So Pat Jablonski, upon entering the game, is a +1 in the Montreal goal. Unless you eliminate the power plays. We're just saying he's been in when one's been scored, but a power play goal for the Canadiens. Puck poked along now by Graves. Kovalenko left it behind, and Messier brushed it back in. 35 seconds. Still left on the power play. The shots are 11-6. At one point, 11-3. Fancy work by Bure, and then on to Quintal. Blocked over to Boogeboom, but he can't clear. Bure off of Boogeboom. Hacks it along further. Bure able to trickle it back out. Dunked from wedged off by Brunet. And down. Bure in the last 10. Hustling back up for the Canadiens. Works it ahead to Brunet. But it's Leach cutting it off. Ryan Leach out of Corpus Christi, Texas. Trickling it right back in deep. And it's set up now for Quintal. The teams are back at full strength. Just under 5.5 to go in the first period. The Rangers ahead in the game, 4-1. And here's Shane Churla. Churla a little trouble controlling. Momesso stepped into. Puck kicked along near Churla again. Rugged Shane Churla looking for Momesso and played it to him. Walled off by Popovic. Recchi tried to clear it along. Kovalov couldn't come up with that one. It's Kane Tall moving it back for the Canadiens. Flew it back down. No icing here. Ulf Samuelsson thought there might be, and he went down.
He took a slash on his left hand from Savage.
Puck along now to Turgeon. Samuelsson trying to wrap him up. It escapes over near Savage. Savage rocked by Momesso. Recchi comes by, trying to help it to the point. Thrown wide by Fitzpatrick. Now Turgeon trying to pull his way to the front. Through across the net mouth. And it's chipped along by Momesso. Momesso able to flex it back down. And so the Canadiens have been on the attack since the arrival of Jablonski and the scoring of the power play goal. 4-1 Rangers, latter part of the first.
Ulf Samuelsson will take a slash from Savage right through his left arm there, right on the elbow. Knocked him down, actually. He got back up and got into the play. And what was interesting about it, no penalty, of course, what's interesting is Samuelsson never complained to the referee. He's done enough of that in his career. He takes it and he gives it, does not complain to referees.
What is it, the boy crying wolf syndrome?
Absolutely.
They just don't believe you?
Yeah, he knows that he does a lot of things that are against the rules and gets away with some, and he never complains.
Helmetless is Messier. Brunet centered one in front. It's hung up in Bill Berg, and then comes Bure with a shot, and it went across the net mouth wide. Played along by Odeline. Then Brunet. Messier on him. Dom Foose defended by Leach.
Messier only had one hand on his stick, but he didn't want to take a penalty. Montreal really forcing here. If they don't score or get a scoring chance, they may draw a power play with this type of work.
Puck turned out of play with 3:46 to go in the first. Well, in the Eastern Conference, we are eliminating teams. This is the only series, aside from the Pittsburgh-Washington that we've reported on, that is now Pittsburgh 3-0 in Washington. So Pittsburgh ahead and the Rangers ahead, and Florida and Philadelphia waiting, and they could be the matchup if the leading teams this afternoon win.
And Jim Carey got pulled. Boy, oh boy, the #1 goaltender all year can't finish a playoff game in Washington. Messier lost his helmet, then he had to do some checking, and he had to stick into Brunet, the Montreal forward, but he kept his left arm down to his side. Watch Messier stick around Brunet. Look at his left arm, though. He's keeping his left arm to his side, to his side, to his side. He doesn't want to reach around and take a holding penalty.
There are an awful lot of maladies that us non-athletic people cannot appreciate. But the one that Messier has that we can't appreciate now is sinus problems. Big shot by Curry went wide.
Yeah, he complains. He has very little energy right now. He's trying to shorten his shifts and be smart about them. And it's something he hasn't been able to shake, Mike, for about 6 weeks. And his eyes are sore, and he's just right up in the upper portion of his face. It's really bothering him.
This is Koivu hooking a pass ahead to Turner Stevenson, moving in with Kovalenko. Got a swing for the shot that's saved by Richter. And then Robotov. And back down.
Vintage Montreal rush. Speed through the neutral zone with the puck, and then they get into what they call a crisscross. The man with the puck will go to one side. The man on the other side crisscrosses right across with him. And you've got to find a way. Here's Montreal coming out of their own zone. Now they make a good first pass. Now they need an important second pass by Koivu. Yes, there it is. That traps 3 Rangers. Now it's a 2-on-2. Stop it there. Watch Stevenson head this way. This guy is going to come over here, but the Rangers stay in their lanes. They stay right in their lanes. They don't get caught up with a crisscross. However, the Montreal speed backs them up a little bit. And there's Kovalenko with the shot that Richter made the save on. Earlier in the series, the Rangers' defense were crisscrossing, and they got into all kinds of trouble in their own zone.
Puck shanked back out again by Momesso. Popovic hit by a pair. Back in deep it goes. Ulf Samuelsson there, rammed by Savage. Recchi tried to tip it along. Puck popped over to Samuelsson.
Rangers need a good forechecking shift here with Momesso and Churla. That is certainly possible, because Montreal has carried the play since the 4-0 Montreal lead in the goalie change.
Down to the ice went Ulf Samuelsson on a hit by Turgeon. Puck sped back over. Laid in behind again by Momesso. Kovalov tried to get loose for a wraparound, and that failed. Recchi clears. Ulf Samuelsson cradles it back in. It is a delayed call, and the Rangers promptly head to the bench. 2:13 to go, first period. Rangers leading the Canadiens 4-1. No more Montreal games if they don't come back in this one. Puck tapped along by Bukaboom, handled further by Verbeek. Verbeek, Graves, Kovalov, and Curry have gotten the goals for the Rangers. Recchi, the lone goal for Montreal, and it came on the power play, ending a string of 16 straight kills.
It was a 5-on-3 power play, and Montreal just simply needed one.
It is Brunet, followed up by Domfus, but Leach right on it. Bukaboom hit by Domfus. Messier battling with Brunet. Two aside working the wall, and it's kicked loose by Domfus. Brunet went down wanting to buy a penalty.
Mark Recchi has gone to the Montreal locker room. It could be that on his last shift, it's so late in the period, he knows he may not get another shift, so he's going for extra rest.
Domfus around behind, can't get a shot away. Emerging with it is Luc Robitaille. Robitaille rushing on, it's a 3-on-2. Messier has Robitaille headed to the net. Messier and shot, and it's saved by Jablonski.
There's a big one with 1:09 to go in the period. 4-1 Rangers. If it's 5-1, see you later. What a save by Jablonski. The Rangers really got crisscrossed themselves. And there was a couple of good plays. Oh, it looks like a penalty after the whistle. Roughing against the Rangers. Bad penalty. Look at the Rangers. 3-on-2. Crisscrossing here, all three of them. And Verbeek will give the puck back to Messier. Quick shot. And there's Jablonski eating up the puck. No big rebound that time. And the Rangers couldn't get to the rebound. Smart shot and a real intelligent save by Jablonski, who held on, and finally some toughness by Montreal's defenseman. Robitaille getting knocked down. Verbeek, after the whistle on the line change, tripped up one of the Montreal defensemen, and with a 4-1 lead in a playoff game like this is not a good penalty at all. It's against what your discipline rules are all about.
And the discipline had certainly improved through games 3, 4, and 5.
Something the Rangers have talked about before games, after games, during intermissions. All teams do. That's a bad penalty.
So now, Montreal, which trailed by 4, trails by 3, has manpower advantage late still in the first period. It's rattled around an old Samuelson. Saw it stopped by Koivu and worked on to Turgeon. Pierre Turgeon avoided the sweep of Lowe. Turgeon feeds it across. Brisebois has to play it on the bounce. Gave it to Kovalenko. 40 left in the period. Kovalenko across to Brisebois. Looking to the front. Pass knocked down by Sundstrom and cleared back out.
Montreal would love to get Wilkie, the rookie, number 27, who lives in Iowa during the offseason. He's got one great wrist shot. And if he can find a way to get that shot loose, watch out.
Turgeon with Brisebois breaking. Sent it wide of Brisebois and the goal. Koivu had trouble with that one, but recovers and moves in. Dealt it back off to Turgeon behind the net. Still looking. Turgeon to Brisebois. Take one in front. Another shot. And that went off Messier. The first was off Leach. Pinching in is Wilkie. 3 seconds to go in the period. Samuelson falls. Tries to work it along. And the siren goes. 5 total goals scored in the first. 4 early by the Rangers. 1 later by the Canadiens. James Brown back in Hollywood after this.
Will this be the first year that a Canadian-based team won't make it to the playoffs since 1974? Well, let's take it to the action. Yes, indeed. Is Messier breathing easier?
Breathing sinus problem. He's breathing a lot easier here, JB. I want you to pay attention to Graves through the middle, and there's Verbeek at the top, creating space, puck movement. This is not pretty. This is New York jam. Jam there by Verbeek on the power play. Who's going to sneak in? Adam Graves for his 7th of the playoff series, JB.
3 goals in 62 seconds for the Rangers. Mario Lemieux making life rough for Carey.
It is rough, but Washington put themselves in the hole by taking a penalty early. This is a power play goal. Great play by Zubov. A one-timer from Mario Lemieux. You're not going to keep him or Yager off the board. Coming up is goal number, there we go. They did score again, JB.
Jim Carey faced 3 shots, allowed 2 goals. He's out. Detroit and Winnipeg.
This is a power play goal here. Fedorov to Petitsov, to Larionov, to Kozlov. All in the Russian must mean it's my puck. I'm going to keep it. Detroit's rumbling.
From Maloneyov. Can you believe that Winnipeg 0 for 25 on a power play in this series? Boy, not very good if you want to keep the series going.
Well, I think the key is here is the fact that Hobby Whelan stopped his first 2 shots in Game 5. He didn't do it today.
All right, we're going to take a look at one of the greatest games ever played. Game 4, the Caps and Penguins, after this.
1-800-COLLECT presents Saves of the Week.
Right, it's off boost. Save! Bergstrom made a save! He
And welcome back to Hollywood and the NHL on Fox. And until this week, that Islanders-Capitals game back in '87 was the longest in the modern era. Now, that's not the case anymore, as the Penguins, and yes, those same Capitals, went to 4 overtimes to decide a winner. This game had everything: great goaltending, a star getting tossed out of the game, and an unheard-of penalty shot in overtime. Unfortunately for Capitals fans, it had the same ending as that Islanders game 9 years ago.
Andre to Pivonka, back to Gonchar's line. His shot in front, screened by Hunter. Here's a score by Pivonka. Michael Pivonka off the long rebound. It's Washington 1, Pittsburgh 0. Ken Reggett on in relief from Tom Barrasso. Barrasso did not return to the playing surface for the start of period number 2. Lemieux bearing in against Cote, getting in for the shot. Save Colting, rebound, save Colting. Pep coming back. Mario gets 2 shots on, shorthanded. Over the line, left wing side, comes Junot. He's set up and a goal is scored by Poitras.
Get the bench, come back charging, they shoot, and they score!
A fight breaking out. Mario Lemieux and Todd Krieger. Lemieux, who you very rarely see display such anger.
As far as I'm concerned, he should be suspended. But then it's Mario and, you know, I'm Todd Krieger, you know. Who's that?
On the power play for the Pens. Right circle, Peter Nedved walks in, draws the beat, shoots, and he scores! Nedved pots up, power play goal!
Kept in by Usdorf, left corner to Hunter. It's out to Usdorf, his shot! Big save by Kenny Reggett, his best of the game.
I saw Ken Reggett down the other end putting on a goalie clinic. You know, he robbed Usti there with his glove, and I felt like I had to match him save for save.
His shot! Save Colting! Whistles a shot, save, rebound, comes to the goal! Oh!
Hamer got it out of trouble, but he knocked the net off the moorings.
I just dove, and I dove and I tried to knock the puck out of the net, and my momentum took me into the net and knocked us off its moorings. Obviously, the ref thought that I did it on purpose. You know, I didn't do it on purpose.
Here comes Junot, penalty shot on Reggett. Shooting save by Kenny Reggett.
I start feeling that the game's not going to end.
You do shift up 15, 20 seconds out there, and you're just exhausted.
How do you maintain concentration?
No, it's real easy. I mean, you just say to yourself, you let one in, we lose.
Zubov winds and shoots. Save on the way in. They bat it free. Zubov, Nedved waits. Deeks, shot, scores! Peter Nedved scores with 44.6 seconds to go in the 4th overtime of this game. Wow!
You know, as Washington area fans got wind of the fact that the game was going into the early hours of the morning, U.S. Air Arena officials opened the doors to anyone who wanted to make the trek out to Landover. Nice touch indeed. And the NHL on Fox continues after this.
The historic city of Montreal with a marvelous history of hockey. And inside this city in the neighborhood of Saint-Lambert, Fox Tracks is now streetwise. No score from this game. Downtown it's 4-1 Rangers.
The NHL on Fox. The Stanley Cup playoffs are brought to you by the new Dodge. We're thinking ahead. By Radio Shack. You've got questions, we've got answers. By the U.S. Army. Be a part of the toughest, smartest army in the world. Be all you can be. And by Gatorade Thirst Quencher. You live life, you get thirsty. Life is a sport. Drink it up.
The Canadiens are 3 under in this game. They are sub 500 in their new arena. They've brought some of the ghosts over from the old forum. Maybe it'll help. Because at the end of one, it's 4-1 in favor of the Rangers. Thoughts on the period, John?
Well, I think when Montreal made their goaltending change at 4-0, there were 6 shots taken after that, 4 by Montreal. The reason I think Montreal got back into the game, the Rangers started to take some penalties. Verbeek saw Odeline, a Montreal defenseman, hit Messier after a whistle. He went over, did Verbeek, and knocked Odeline off his feet. The referee gave him a penalty. For the Rangers, I think they have to play much smarter. If they play smart, there's no way Montreal get back into this thing. If Montreal gets a chance in their power play, they just might.
The Rangers were like lightning. They were ahead 1-0, and then they got 3 quick goals, 3 in the span of a minute and 2 seconds.
Messier to Verbeek, a beautiful pass and a great shot. That was the first shot of the game on Thibault. Now watch Thibault save, but his rebounds all through the series, and Rangers are not getting knocked down near their net. And then on the third goal, a marvelous individual play by Kovalov going around the defenseman Brisebois to give the Rangers the key goal by Kovalov.
Well, at 4-0, they got an important power play goal, but we want to take a look at the Bud Ice statistics. 12-7 the shots on goal. The scoring chances 5-2 Rangers. The face-offs decisively Montreal. And the penalty minutes 8-2 Rangers.
One of the keys too may be the fact that in the corner you're going to see right in here Churla meet up with Recchi right there. Now watch what happens as Churla and Recchi meet up one-on-one. They battle, 2 big players. Churla's heavier, but you see Recchi throwing Churla down, but Recchi is the person that went off the ice to the locker room, and he went off with about 2 minutes to go, we think, to be checked over by the doctors, and maybe he was stunned a little bit on the play. He, as you see here, is ready to start the second period, and it is a power play as Verbeek has 51 seconds to go.
I always feel sorry for the pulled goaltender. And when you look back on this series, they haven't won 2 games without this guy. They've won 2, they've lost 3. On the verge of losing 4, but not yet because of the change and because of the power play goal that resulted and the power play that they have now at the outset of the period. And are they ever working? Puck came back to Brisebois. Hands on over to Mark Recchi. Recchi just looks things over, hands it across. Wilkie pass tipped back over the line. And so Brisebois drops back. In the last 25 of the man advantage, laced in by Wilkie, around near Turgeon, who let it go. Dom Foose controlling it. Turgeon open behind, but he works to the back. Brisebois cross. Big shot by Wilkie, slowed, and it slithered wide. Turgeon to Dom Foose, and the shot was blocked off and then cleared. So to the last 8 of this man advantage. May have heard the conversation amongst the Canadians back in their own end of the ice. Brisebois dumped it along, fed further, and back down, and the penalty has been killed. So that's the first important step for the Rangers in this series. And also the first important debit to Montreal. Wolf Samuelson rocked to the board by Kovalenko. Turner Stevenson came by for a little extra. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Hockey League and is intended for private use of our audience. Any publication, rebroadcast, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this telecast, including the imposition of a charge for viewing it without the express written consent of the National Hockey League, is prohibited. John, it's interesting. You look at the goal scorers around the league today. Yzerman, Lemieux, Yager, Francis, Verbeek, Graves, Curry. A lot of the old wily veterans coming to the fore in crucial games for their team.
Of all the players in the playoffs this season that scored 40 goals or more, there's a good shot from the face-off win by Montreal, that scored 40 or more goals, Mike. Verbeek was the last one to score a goal in the playoffs. Everybody else had that was in the playoffs. So all the big boys are starting to get it going.
Verbeek with a goal and an assist, involved in the first 2 goals scored by his team today. Odeline connects back over to Stevenson. Drop back out, and here comes Koivu. Robitaille moving with him. Koivu around in front, and it was jammed wide, and then a collision. Koivu hustles right back after it again, but it's controlled by Sundstrom. Kevin Lowe. And out of play. A minute 52 on here in the second.
Real good change of speed by Koivu, who's been quite active in this game. Has really shown, I think, quickness that he certainly has as a rookie. You'll see him here with Robitaille coming back. Slow down. See, he almost stopped, and then he just kept going. Robitaille with a great back-checking job. Robitaille and back-checking went to the net. Where's Koivu? Slow down. Now he goes. Look at Robitaille. Cut him off at the pass. That's a heck of a play defensively. As the defenseman was up ice, I believe it was Kevin Lowe. Back was Luc Robitaille.
You spoke of defense. Montreal was allowed only 3 offensive rushes through the neutral zone in the first period. Only 3.
Well, they were doing it 3 a shift in the first 2 games of this series. The Rangers have really closed it off.
Kovalov trying to get further. Denied by Cantal. Turgeon got it on over to Savage. Couldn't get a pass to the front. Turgeon! He scores! Pierre Turgeon, and it's 4-2.
Turgeon gets his second goal of the series, and it was kind of like a pinball-type shot. He was being marked rather closely, and he just took the shot. And the shot, the puck caromed all over the place, and then through the legs, I think, of Mike Richter. Big goal for Montreal. Look at Turgeon on the blue line. He's picked up by Doug Lidster. He gets the shot. It hits Kovalov, and Richter, no, it went to the right side of his leg. Change-up shot. Hits Kovalov, and then Richter went underneath his pad, and the complexion has changed. Since Jablonski went in to replace Thibault in the first period, the Rangers have had 1 good goal-scoring chance on them. That's all.
Turgeon's second goal of the series. So the captain has gotten his team back to within 2. Leach angles to Bukaboom. Furry on him. Puck played out by Verbeek on to Graves. Messier on the ice as well as Graves moves in. Shoots one. Covered by Jablonski and play stopped.
You know, just watching Jablonski quickly here, he's already better than Thibault regarding rebounds. And even that shot, even though it was a long shot, is something that Thibault would have let sit out in front of him. Jablonski hangs on, no rebound shot, and Montreal gets to relax in their own end of the ice and set up for a face-off. Again, the deflection, and it goes right underneath the leg of Richter. That makes it 4-2 in favor of New York, and Montreal's back in it. And Thibault may not be golfing tomorrow. He may be backing up.
May not.
And practicing for Montreal.
Savage and Cantal had the assist on Turgeon's second at 2:11. Off of Messier. Mark Bureau collars that one and gives it back to Fitzpatrick. Rushed by Adam Graves. Puck taken by Domfus. Shoveled ahead to Bureau. Moving up with Brunet. Pass nicely knifed away by the defense. Rolled on for Messier, but he's taken out by Domfus. Popovic going back on defense and is rammed by Verbeek. Still they scrap for it. Peter Popovic, left-hand shooting defenseman, able to steer ahead. Popovic's pass tangled. Domfus swung it in, and it's played right back ahead. 3:15 gone in the second period. Almost like 2 games. The Rangers dominating the first 12 minutes or so. And then the goalie change, and life for Montreal on a power play goal, and then an even strength goal here in the second. The crowd is into it.
My calculations, there's only been 3 shots on Thibault on Jablonski since the goalie change, and the goalie change has turned the game around, even though the Rangers still lead by 2.
Kovalenko bumped off solidly by Leach. Popovic pursued by Robitaille. Bruce Driver angles it back off. That one read by Turner Stevenson. Tries to muscle ahead, can't. Persists and steps in. Stevenson lost it off his stick. Patrice Brisebois hands back over to Stevenson. Has a man, it's Koivu. Koivu looks to the front. Sends a prayer wide. Odeline takes it there. Now in deep for Stevenson. This is not something the Canadiens have done that well, bulling around the net, but you try anything. Here is Koivu again. Koivu wrapped up by Yari Curry. Punched it over to Stevenson. Stevenson worked over by Lowe, then behind Koivu. Koivu trying to shake his way to the front. Koivu worming his way along. Steps away from Robitaille. Koivu to Stevenson. Driver on him.
And the defensemen are jumping in for Montreal. Brisebois was in a moment ago. Before that, it was Odeline. They're trying to find offense.
Odeline angles it wide. Stevenson behind. And it's fed back out by Curry.
No forechecking whatsoever for the Rangers. A lot of it by Montreal. And Montreal will be wearing down that New York Ranger defense. We're early in the second period.
All is well. Pat Jablonski used this time to get his skate sharpened up again. Well, he's not been tested much. That's one thing you want to do with a new goaltender is make his first shot a tough one. The Rangers did, but it took a while.
It was a shot by Messier that Jablonski handled easily, and he has not allowed any rebounds. It looks rather comfortable in there. I think that settled down his team a little bit, and I think his team was embarrassed the way they played in front of Thibault, and they've really picked it up. It was 4-0. It's now 4-2, and we have a good one going.
The sum total of Pat Jablonski's Stanley Cup experience prior to this game, 90 minutes. Played some in 91 with the St. Louis Blues. Was not a goaltender of record, gave up 5 in the 90 minutes. Wilkie pestered and worked over by Kovalov, and it's coughed up to Momesso. Kovalov again. Could not center because of Recchi. Recchi tries the other way and got the back of the goal. Samuelson pinching in, kept it going over to Momesso. Then Kovalov. Kovalov shakes one around, breaks up for another shot. Oh, Jablonski!
How about that?
Came up big on Momesso.
Oh, Samuelson, the left defenseman, did a nice job keeping the puck in the zone. And when that happened, the Rangers tried to wrap around, and then a rebound shot. Jablonski was sharp. I mean, real sharp. There you see on the far boards the pinch and the backup by the winger Momesso. Now the Rangers can go to work. Look at Kovalov, who's had a great series. Wrap around, save. Look at him front the rebound. Quick shot and a good save as you see Jablonski right there. Again, Kovalov changed direction. Now Jablonski's there against the post waiting, and Momesso there, the rebound shot right into the chest. Momesso outpowers Wilkie. Look at Momesso get the stick down in position, get it on the puck. Boy, I want to save that. It's a big, big, big save. You know, Jablonski has no room for error here. His team trails by 2 goals. They had one time trailed by 4. He can't afford to not make big saves or make a mistake and let in a bad goal. It's just, his team can't afford it. It's now or never.
Next Sunday, it's the Stanley Cup Conference semifinals, and the NHL on Fox will be there to bring you all the action. The best players in the league face off for the most historic prize in all of sports. Coverage begins at 3 Eastern, 12 Pacific. Check local listings for the game and time in your area on Fox. Pat Jablonski, a native of Toledo, Ohio, grew up in a hockey family. His father, Greg, was an American and International Hockey League player mostly. He settled in Toledo when he was playing with a team called the Hornets, also known as the Toledo Blades at one time in their existence. Did he ever have the wheels as a center ice?
Mud heads at one point or not?
I think that's the baseball.
Oh, okay. Just kidding.
Jamie Farr really likes the plug, though. It is Mike Richter setting up behind. 6 minutes have been played here in the second. What do you think of the first 6 minutes, John?
I think it's interesting. The Rangers have been on their heels a little bit. Montreal's challenged. They're trying to send their defensemen into the play. The Rangers have had one good forecheck, developed some offense, and Jablonski got it done.
Now for this Pizza Hut game break, let's go to Hollywood and James Brown.
Hey, Doc, scrappy, feisty, you picked the adjective to describe the Capitals here in the home white, not folding over to the Penguins. Aggressive action in front of the goal. Dale Hunter there to bang in the rebound. It's now 3-1. Let's take it back to Mike Emmerich, and I'd be interested to hear what John Davison describes in this.
Well, let's take a look at the brackets first. Philadelphia would play Florida if nothing changes on the scoreboard, and it would be Pittsburgh and the New York Rangers in the next round.
You know, that long game that went into the quadruple overtime, the Penguins are saying that Peter Nedved won 90% of his faceoffs in that game. Can you imagine the puck control, winning that many faceoffs? Right now, the Rangers need one in their zone. And it's Sundstrom, the rookie, going up against Bure as Domfus was tossed out.
From the tie-up, Bure steps right after it. Sundstrom on him. And it's Jari Kurri. Curry's pass by Robitaille on to Brian Leetch. And it's in. Brisebois, but then Kurri. Robitaille checked by Brisebois. Robitaille really worked over by Brisebois. Good close off by the defenseman from Montreal. And it started ahead by Odelai. Nudges it on for Bure. Bure shakes it back for Domfus. But then Robitaille rammed by Brisebois.
Somebody woke him up. He's playing the most physical he's played in the series in the last, well, ever since the goalie change. All of Montreal defensemen playing a lot tougher. A lot tougher.
This is Domfus. Connects, but then quickly off the stick of Brunet. Low onto Robitaille. And back in deep. Jablonski sets for Brisebois. 7 minutes played, second period. The Rangers got the first 4. The Canadiens got the next 2. This one escapes down. Will Driver arrive first for the icing? Yes. Barely. 7:10 gone in the second. Deficit is 2 for Montreal. A couple of 11s, Koivu and Messier for the faceoff. And a falling backhander was saved by Jablonski on Shane Churla. Stevenson drops off to Kovalenko. Met by Bill Berg, and so it's Kane Tall. Kovalenko couldn't get that one, but out in front of stuff. It's hit by Stevenson. Another shot! And a save made by Richter on that one.
And one save at the other end by Jablonski set up a 3-on-2 rush by Montreal, and Richter had to stand tall again.
Wilkie glasses it off. A kneeling stop made by Driver and a stoppage of play. They rule an offside, and then a little extra between Driver and Kovalenko.
You get some very different line matchups. Rangers going with a different combination. Look at Churla with the shot here. Backhand shot. Kick save and a beauty right there by Jablonski. Now, all of a sudden, the other way goes Montreal, and Richter had to be good. Real good. Stevenson, the big winger, is there, and Richter had to make a save off of Kovalenko, who's playing his best game of the series, even though he took a bad penalty in the first period. Richter, one post. Now he has to come across, pushing with his right leg, and squeezes off the other side of the net with big Stevenson right there. Montreal's rush, Mike, they dropped the puck back twice. I don't think there's a team in the league that goes backwards with the puck more than Montreal does when they're trying to go forward on the rush. They find the open trailer all the time.
Lidster checked off by Savage. Fed along for Kovalov, and then back out now for Momento. If they hurry, it's a 2-on-1. Momento moving ahead with Nemchinov, and the pass went under his stick. Now controlled on back by Nemchinov, angled off by Ulf Samuelsson, taken by Kovalov. Kovalov looking to the front, chased off, though, by the work of Fitzpatrick. Got it back to Samuelsson. Recchi able to knock that one down and walk it off. Mark Recchi, whose team was down by 4, but is now down by only 2. Peter Popovic with the drive. Oh, and it went off of Samuelsson. Thrown along by Recchi, and then Savage wants to get out in front. Turnaround shot, patched up, jammed at the side of the net near the post, and play is stopped.
Rangers are winning this thing 4-2, but Coley Campbell, who's done a good job coaching in this series, is changing his lines up. I think he feels he's got to get it going here. It's been almost a full period, the last half of the first half of the second, where Montreal's done some really good things. Look at this. Savage, spin around, works off the check of Nemchinov, Turgeon to the rebound, and almost another Montreal player getting to the puck for the third time. Watch Turgeon. He's got Lidster on him. He'll go around the net, I believe, there and find the puck for a second scoring chance. And here comes another one. Boom, that's the defenseman, Brisebois. Montreal sending their defenseman in on the offense as much as possible. Here comes Brisebois right now. There he is. There's a stick, and Richter got to it quickly to cover up. The Rangers ahead by 2, adjusting their line.
Which way is the toughest for Richter to push off as the result of his injury? Is to push off from the right?
I think before it's a left groin problem that he had, Mike, the groin muscle torn. When he first came back, he had trouble pushing to his right or spreading his legs completely. He's a very flexible guy. Since, though, over the last couple of weeks, he has no fear at all. The fear is gone regarding a re-injury of that area.
Well, it can prey on your mind, especially when you come back.
I think with him it did, but not anymore.
After a long absence, comes back, first game injury again. Offside. With 11:02 to go in the second period, the Rangers ahead 4-2. This was the way it was through the first 2 games. Messier with a point, Graves with 2, Leach and Verbeek empty. But take a look at these numbers. In the last 3 plus, a 5, a 5, a 5, and Leach with a 3.
Well, for Graves, those are all goals. These 2 guys were injured quite badly for the first 2 games. And once they got going, especially with Messier, he came in here and was named the first star of the 2 games, 3 and 4, that were played in Montreal. You can see today he's playing well, but he's not nearly as strong as he can be. The sinus infection, the eyes, he just does not have the energy that he normally would have if he didn't have that infection.
How much can you risk with antibiotics? I mean, that's one way that you try to knock it out, maybe, but, I mean, you may be really hurting yourself.
Well, there's antibiotic for the sinus and head cold, There's anti-inflammatory for the rib problem he had. And a lot of the stuff that he takes doesn't sit well with his stomach. So he goes on some, he goes off it. Sometimes they only take it the day of a game type of thing to try and get through it. So it's been a problem, and he can't shake what's been ailing him. He just can't seem to shake it right now. Now here he's taking a defensive zone draw, and he's been really good, Mike. By far the Rangers' best centerman taking defensive draws. Koivu tried to beat him clean, and Messier wins another one. Whoop.
Centering pass, and Koivu tries to tuck it into the backhand and lost it. Still they scrap for it, and the coverage made by Richter.
And Koivu can't believe it. He lost the draw. The Rangers look like they're in control, and Leach blew a tire. He blew a tire going right down the freeway. Lost his edge. He was gone, and Richter had to come up big. Tell you, this is getting really tight for the Rangers. Messier, clean win. Richter's got it. Watch him change direction, and gone. Here comes Montreal. They got a man in front, and Koivu cannot finish the play. After Richter held onto the puck, the whistle sounded. Koivu skated around. He almost took a stick. I thought he was going to try and eat it. He's so upset. You don't get scoring chances like this very often, and he couldn't finish the play. The Rangers are calling timeout.
Indeed.
And I think it's smart. Their level has really dropped. Montreal's level is picking up. And the Rangers, from their shoulders up, are not in the game right now. They've got to get mentally sharp because Montreal is.
Sum of the 21,273. A long-time love for a sport in a brand new arena, Molson Center. Not been that friendly to the Canadiens. They won the first 3 here, but they've been well below 500 since.
Neither was the GM place, the new building in Vancouver, as Colorado beat them out, winning the deciding game, or the game to knock Vancouver out right in Vancouver.
The chances in the first period were the Rangers 5, Montreal 2. In the second period so far, 5-1 Canadiens.
Talk about chances. How about Detroit winning in Detroit, losing in Detroit to Winnipeg? Scoring chances in that game, 35-7 in favor of Detroit, yet they lost. Well, the young guy by the name of Habib Boulin playing goal. So St. Louis wins, Chicago wins, Colorado wins, and Detroit leads. And from what we understand, it's 3-0 for Detroit in Winnipeg in the second period. So they will probably win. That'll set up a Colorado-Chicago series and a St. Louis-Detroit series if indeed Detroit wins.
Colorado won 3 out of 4 from Chicago in the regular season. And Detroit against St. Louis was 3-1-1. That is not prophecy. That's just brain candy for you to mull over. It doesn't mean a thing. Messier. Then it's sent off by Verbeek. Oh, was he ever hit by Wilkie? And then he followed through with a shiver.
Yeah, that's a bad penalty. Man, Wilkie just went in with a good hit, but he followed through with a right crotch. A shiver, huh?
Well,
a shiver.
right, I like the right crotch.
Watch Verbeek move in. Got the puck. Wilkie throws a good one on him, and watch the second part of it. Boom. Right cross, right to the visor of Verbeek. And we saw Verbeek take a bad penalty. This one by Wilkie, the rookie, is another bad penalty. And his team, well, they're in a worse position. So it's even more magnified as a bad penalty. This may change the flow of this one. Montreal does have 2 shorthanded goals in the series, one by Dompouz, one by Odeline. The Rangers' power play, however, has been hot, and this could change the flow of the period because there hasn't been any offensive flow by the Rangers.
Rangers are 1 for 1 on the power play this afternoon. They have 3 shots on it. The third shot was by Graves, and it went in. Thrown back down for Richter to tap, and Mark Messier to take. Driver and Leach will be out on it. Graves and Verbeek. Shuttle back down by Kane Tall. Well, you can see Mark Messier can't really do a lot of the extra that he normally does, just because of the fatigue factor from the sinus infection. Here's Leach moving in. Back on now to Graves. Seamed it around. Came back over near Verbeek. Verbeek has a little trouble. And the Canadiens can move it back up. Kane Tall on now to Koivu. Bump from behind by Graves, but he persists. Koivu trying to turn by. Around behind the net. What a penalty kill. Now out in front, and it's shot on. It went just wide.
Well, he's like a water bug, isn't he? Only a strong water bug. They couldn't knock him over.
It is Verbeek moving in. Verbeek with a drive. High off Jablonski. Verbeek again, and he put it off the back of the net. 53 to go on the power play. Puck sent to the point. Leach shoots one, deflected wide by Graves. Covered by Jablonski. And play is stopped.
And a nice ovation for Koivu and his good play. When you're a goaltender here in this new building, now this is the look from Jablonski's goal net. There's the time, as you see, that's remaining in this second period. The problem is, over here is the penalty killing clock, and the goaltenders looking up, they can't really see that. See how that is not nearly as clear as that is? The 901's clear. Now you get close to it, you see 47 seconds left on the Wilkie minor. The goaltenders have a hard time looking up to see where the time left is on the clock. The puck here goes right through Richter's legs. Koivu, look at that. And I'll tell you, from Richter, he knew the puck went through his legs. He had to think the puck was in. However, it went outside the goalpost, and you saw the reaction of the Montreal bench. I would bet my last dollar that Richter thought that thing was in.
Brisebois tried to clear. It skipped back to Leach, then over to Lindster. Shoots one. And another try. And another try. And Jablonski got it. Out in front. And the puck trickled loose. Played by Bureau. On up to Domfus. And it's sent back in with half a minute still to go on the minor penalty to Wilkie. Kovalov shakes away from one. Alexei Kovalov bringing it in. Has a goal in this game today. Kovalov to the back. Lindster and shot. Deflected score! A power play goal, and it's 5-2 Rangers.
That's why Montreal could not afford a bad penalty. They took one. The Rangers got lucky with Koivu almost scoring, and then the Rangers got lucky again with the shot. But look at the magnificent stick handling. Kovalov loves to go to his right. He goes once to his right, now he's over to his right again, and this surprise quick pass to Lindster set up the shot, and Lindster's shot went off the defenseman in front. That's Brisebois, and it's now 5-2. Brisebois looks around. There's two Rangers. He's looking around, and the puck was right off the derriere and right through Jablonski. 5-2 Rangers, and their power play gets them going. You see some good reaction from the Rangers bench. They needed something positive. And it sounds, Mike, like the whole building again here just dropped. That was a great pass by Kovalov. Lindster just put it towards the goal, and they got a break right through the wickets.
So, Lindster's first of the playoffs. It is a power play goal. The Rangers are 2 for 2 in that department. And the puck is controlled by Yari Curry and pitchforked in.
See if this young Montreal team gets knocked again. Can they come back? They've shown comeback all season long, a number of times. Let's see if they can do it here.
Kovalov gets the only assist. Teams at full strength. Just under 8 minutes to play in the second. Puck dumped along, and Bill Byrne was checked. Sundstrom with it, lost by Samuelson, but Sundstrom ahead if they hurry a 3-on-2. But play is stopped on the offside. We'll get back to Molson Center in a moment. Five to 2. With the pucks underwater here in Montreal. Very artistic. 5-2 the Rangers ahead.
You do all that stuff in your spare time?
No.
I can't believe how much energy you have.
These guys came in early and were able to set up a lot of those shots yesterday. The weather yesterday was about the same as today, although it did snow in Montreal 3 times this past week.
Hockey weather.
It is.
There's also been a lot of hockey weather in Miami, isn't there, with that club? Wow, what a great series they had in knocking off Boston in 5.
Can you imagine if they wind up playing Philadelphia with the size and the pugnaciousness of those two teams, how they'll be? That'll be a very interesting series. We are in a situation where 7 of the 8 teams with home ice advantage could advance, especially if the teams that are on the road today do. That has only happened one other time in 1988. And since they started playing 8 first-round sets in 1980, it has happened only once that every home ice team has made it through the first round.
So the only one that didn't was Toronto?
Yes.
As St. Louis knocked them off.
Exactly.
In a 6-game series.
And yet we might have that, and by the end of today have the home team winning 22 and losing 23. So even though home ice means something in the ultimate winner, it doesn't mean that much for the games that are played.
Yeah. Here's Bureau taking the defensive draw. He's been pretty good for Montreal in this game. He's taken almost every one of them. There he wins another one. That was a smart play. Only Wilkie, the rookie, didn't get the puck out of the zone.
This is Messier rolling it around behind. Brunet jams it back off, and it's Dom Foose. Pittsburgh is leading in Washington. If that continues, they win. Detroit leading in Winnipeg. If that continues, they win. And the Rangers are ahead here. If this continues, they will win their series too.
Special teams, so important in this series. The last 3 games plus this one here, the Rangers 7 for 16 and a shorthanded goal. Montreal, on the other hand, who had the first power play in this game, and couldn't score. Only 1 for 12, and they're actually outscored by their penalty killing unit. And the first 3 man's trying, isn't he?
He is.
And he's wearing number 11, Saku Koivu's number. He may have been, or may be to this point, Montreal's best player in this game.
Bureau and Messier for the faceoff. Won by the Canadiens and Brisebois. Boy, the next goal is just tremendous. I think the team that gets the next goal, if it's the Rangers, that'll be it. Montreal does, then we'll have a game of it going into the third.
But even the Rangers' 5th goal, it seems to have taken a little out of the Montreal club. They didn't come back with 2 shifts, or a strong shift since the goal's been scored. They may come back yet, you never know. But they just didn't have that same zing.
Oh, Brunet! And then Brisebois with a shot, and it's knocked down in front and trapped by Richter.
And what was interesting there is that the Rangers now are appealing to the referee. Gabouret had the puck in his hand. He skated a couple of strides and changed directions with it. And that should be a delay of game penalty. However, the referee, Don Koharski, who is a good veteran referee, let it go. And then it developed into the 2-shot. There he was skating with it. And then here you see Brunet. Richter does it again. And then a good shot from the defenseman with Adam Graves there. Richter able to hang on, and nobody can get to the rebound. Here's the Rangers on the puck. Brian Leach. There's the good catch job. 1 stride, 2 strides, almost 3 strides by Bourret. It's in moving about 10 or 12 feet of ice. And he changed direction. That is against the rules. He got away with it, and it led to offense. And Richter had to be good with a couple of real good saves. There's the first one on Brunet. And look at Richter's eyes. Look at the head never moving. Get out of the way, Adam Graves, and here comes the other shot. Good save.
Backhander and another save made by Richter. What would the penalty be called? You said delay of game. It's not traveling. How many steps?
That looks like 3 to me. That would be traveling, wouldn't it? But you tell me it's not called there either.
Not in the major league, it's not. It is Turgeon. If you're on a good slam dunk expedition, you can probably take 7, maybe 8 steps, maybe from the bench on in. Puck back to the point now. Brisebois with a shot that's blocked down. Yari Curry starts it ahead. Picks up 2 wingers. It's a 3-on-2, but it's low one. Turgeon seems hurt. Hurt with a drive, and that deflected into the seats.
Well, you're right. That was a slow one. That was a 3-on-2, and it looked like molasses set in. The lactic acid may be getting into the legs of the players, and it just didn't develop. Finally, the shot was taken and put into the stands. And we have a penalty coming up. Brisebois.
A roughing signal by Don Koharski.
This really hurts the red and white. Man. Right at the top of the screen, you see Samuelson moving out. Brisebois with the shot. And there's the action by Samuelson and the reaction by Brisebois throwing him down. 2 Montreal penalties at both right at the Montreal bench. One by Wilkie and here by Brisebois. Same thing. A right cross to the face, catching nothing but visor. But the temper to Brisebois and earlier Wilkie just hurts their team. They're down by 3. They can't afford to give up another one. And 2 minutes off the clock, maybe, from their own offense. However, Koivu's on the ice again.
2 for 2, the Ranger power play with 7 shots. And it's Leach. Messier. Verbeek with a pass. Graves got some of it. Koivu was on him, and that prevented all of it.
The Rangers earlier in the series did a lot of wraparounds with their offense. The series after game 2 changed a little bit, where the Rangers have the puck in the corner, try to feed the puck out to Graves in the slot for the quick shot. In fact, they have a goal in this game here in the first period with a similar play. But that time, Graves was checked nicely by Saku Koivu.
Barry Richter, one of the Rangers playing in this game today, was with the Rangers farm team last night in Syracuse, the team that was eliminated from the American Hockey League playoffs. So he very quickly made the 300-mile trip here and is one of the Ranger defensemen today. Seen limited duty. Messier flipping one in front, now on to Graves, then around behind Verbeek, wrapped on back now to Driver. Loose Driver on to Verbeek, then around for Graves again. Then Messier. Leach cranks a shot, came back to him off Bureau. Leach moving in, fed one across. Verbeek a shot on, it was high off Jablonski, and it's angled back down.
Well, you have to battle to get shots. Verbeek did that. Jablonski with a fine save.
Nice direction on to Messier from Leach. Trouble controlling, though. Punched along, and Leach a follow-up, deflected right in on goal. Loose puck there.
How about that?
Cradled with the goal stick and held by Jablonski.
That's a great shot by Brian Leach, and Verbeek having a good game here. Does have a goal, does have an assist, and this time he had a great deflection. And Jablonski with his left leg made the save and was able to hang on. This is a great shot. Look at Verbeek right front. Stick down, bang, deflection. And Jablonski, with some help from his friends, able to hang on to loose puck. Hits the stick blade. Look at this. Leach, he hit the stick blade. The redirection is meant to go through the legs of Jablonski, and Jablonski found a way to make the save. A fine save, a big save, a life-saving save for his team.
Back to the point it comes. It's handed over to Brian Leach. Leach along now for Robitaille. Then Nemchinov. Kovalov with it. Robitaille at the front. Moving in is Leach to the slot. Kovalov still keeps. Then Robitaille. Nemchinov battling at the front with Odeline. Shovel shot. Lidster. And then a turnaround shot right in on goal. And a strong shot from Robitaille. And now Odeline goes after Nemchinov.
And they quickly separate. There's not been a fighting major in this series. Boy, did the catching glove ever dart out quickly from Jablonski to find the rebound as it crawled up his body. Big battle right in front. Nemchinov doesn't get a lot of power play time, but he is here. He's inside the crease. He's outside the crease. He's battling with Odeline. Nemchinov's legs are spread. He has a very strong lower body. His thighs are huge. He's tough to knock down. And look at the save right there. And then Odeline goes to work. Nemchinov has a cut to the back of his calf. It took 7 stitches to close. The cut was what they call a puncture wound. When it happened, the muscle was showing, the nerve was exposed. However, the cut never cut his hockey socks or the socks on the inside of his hockey socks, and nobody can explain why.
You sure somebody in the crowd didn't have a laser? I mean, how else do you explain? I've never heard of an injury
That was
like
in game 2, and it's the first time he's played since.
Well, he's in the box now with Odeline on coincidental roughing minors, but it is still a power play. Rangers have half a minute to go in it as it's Leach. Wristing one, knifed right now by Koivu, and tucked out. 4 minutes left in the second. The Rangers by 3. Detroit leads by 3 in Winnipeg. Pittsburgh leads by 2 in Washington. If those scores remain unchanged at the end, those teams not only win the games, but the series.
Just another great penalty-killing shift from number 11, Koivu. Didn't allow the Rangers to make a good pass.
Robitaille. Mark Recchi. Teams are back at full strength now. A pass on to Brisebois. 1 minute and 2 seconds of attack time for the Rangers and 3 shots on goal. Peter Popovic bringing it back. Recchi. Turgeon. Turgeon trying to get control. Sundstrom on him. Second pass. And a shot was shanked off by Savage right into Ulf Samuelsson. Sundstrom hooks, persists, and throws it back. Popovic steers it back the other way, and Bruce Driver will have to go get it. Just over 3 minutes to go now. 22 shots to 17, the Rangers. Overall in the game, it's 10-10 in this period. Kane Tall bangs it back off for Savage. Lays it out for Recchi. Moving up with Turgeon, and he gets to him. Pierre Turgeon, the captain of the Canadiens, trying to connect with Kane Tall.
And see who's in there. That's right. Contell, a defenseman. They're throwing a defenseman in a 4-man rack every time on ice.
A tangle caused a delayed offside that is wiped now as the Rangers move ahead. And here's Jari Kurri in, shooting one right into the pad of Jablonski. Now it's Brunet. Headman pass is too far for Dom Foose. So Ulf Samuelsson patrolling and glasses it back out. It is Wilkie, the rookie, back on defense. Dumping it off to Benoit Brunet. and then to Valeri Bure with 2:10 to go in the second. It's Dom Foose ahead. He's got a man ahead. Brune! Save made by Richter.
How about that pass? What a beautiful pass by Dom Foose to hit Brune, and he was robbed.
Koivu and Messier for the face-off with 2:04 to go in the second, and Mark Messier's team ahead by 3. Kovalenko wedged right down. It's thrown back off by Verbeek. He's held up so that Odeline can play.
Well, the young players have played well for Montreal in this series. Koivu, Stevenson, Bore's worked hard. Their veteran players, though, have not been nearly as effective as the Ranger veteran players. Dom Foose was good early. Turgeon struggled.
Here's Messier. Bennett in front, and the shot by Verbeek was off the defense. That skipped off Verbeek. Odeline on him. Then Graves tucked a pass out in front that came over to Stevenson. Stevenson just pulled off by Messier. Verbeek a shot. Oh, it's saved. And then it's fed across the net mouth wide by Verbeek.
Messier's best shift of the game.
Latter stages, second period. Shift change on. Messier will stay out. Stevenson moving in. The drop comes to Koivu.
Messier's taking a penalty now. He was back checking, and his stick caught the face of Kovalenko. And at the end of his shift, and I think Mark had his best shift, and Mark went right to the penalty box. He didn't even talk to the referee. Here you see, it looks like Montreal. Now, this is earlier. Dom Foose on the puck. This is Brune here. Watch what happens when you make the puck do the work across the ice surface. Watch this bullseye pass. Brune stays wide on the near side. Bullseye. And he can move in around Duck Lister, and there's a shot on Richter, and Richter held on. Now, the last shift, Messier pushed Stevenson right off the puck, right there. Just pushed him off the puck, stole the puck, gave it to Verbeek, and here's a goaltender. Catching glove. Great concentration by Jablonski and a good save. Messier stayed on as Montreal was on the rush, and watch the stick ride right up the arm and bang, right on the nose. You're responsible for your stick. Messier gets the minor, and it was on the back check. So you can see he's sitting. And he knew he took the penalty. He went directly to the penalty box, never appealed it at all.
Don Koharski was really craning his neck to take a look across the ice at Kovalenko, who sort of nonchalanted it. He might have been able to buy an extra 2 out of that, but Montreal's power play 1 for 4 with 5 shots.
Sundstrom and Curry killing the penalty here for the forwards. Graves and Messier had been the best 2 penalty-killing forwards all year. All of a sudden, these 2 show up as a pair. Have just been awesome for the Rangers. Really, really, really good. Now, with Messier in the box, they become the primary 2. Next, when they change, if Montreal doesn't score, Graves will come out with somebody new instead of Messier.
From the tie-up, Burry able to take it. Samuelson on it. Valeri Bure taken out by Samuelson. Hand pass to the head. They can't clear. Up the boards it came for Turgeon. Pierre Turgeon hands over to Wilkie. Fires, and that's deflected back over to Dom Foose. Around behind, hoping for Recchi, and Recchi can skate to it. Feeds it on back to Turgeon. Fires, and it went wide. Wilkie, a wrap around behind. Burry tried to get to it. Dumped back over to Mark Recchi again with 35 to go in the period. Little chip shot to the front. Broken up by the Rangers and sent back down the ice. There will be carryover time if the Canadiens don't score before the end of the period. Ahead with this now comes Wilkie. Forces the Rangers back to get it. Mukovo fires it back off the boards and down. And just a dozen seconds to go in the period. It's along to Turgeon and dropped on back. And this will do it. The siren is ready. So 51 seconds of power play time will carry into the third. Probably the most important 51 seconds of the season for the Canadiens. 40 minutes played. The Rangers have the lead over the Montreal Canadiens 5-2. Verbeek, Graves, Kovalov, Curry, and Lidster have the goals for the Rangers. Recchi and Turgeon for the Canadiens. James Brown out in Hollywood following these important commercial messages.
Back here in Hollywood in Studio 7 for the second intermission, along with Dave Maloney, I'm James Brown. Let's get you caught up on the Rangers and Montreal. Yes, indeed. Did they go to the stands and get this guy?
Not Mark Messier battling a problem here. This goal number 4 in the first period. Yari Curry out-muscles Fitzpatrick. That put the Rangers up 4-zip. Out goes Thibault. In comes Pat Jablonski. Montreal gets the next 2, JB. This is a point from Brisebois over to Recchi. That's a power play goal. Here, Turgeon off a Kovalev's stick. That made it 4-2. Wilkie takes a bad penalty here. The Rangers capitalize. Lindster off the derriere of Brisebois. Colin Campbell and the Rangers are happy. That 5th goal is huge. Montreal was playing well.
Adam Graves ties the club record with 5 power play goals in the series.
Mario puts the Penguins on the board early here. Keith Jones in the first period takes a bad penalty. Zubov finds Lemieux, who one-times it to beat Jim Carey. Carey got pulled early in the first period. Mario's happy. Hero of game number 4, Peter Nedved throws the puck to the net. Ronnie Francis bangs in the rebound. 3-1. But the Caps don't die, JB. Physical second period. Dale Hunter bangs in the rebound. Ken Reggett gives up only a second goal in over 200 minutes of playoff hockey.
Will this be the last game ever in Winnipeg after 17 years?
Well, Howie Boulin was the star of Game 5 in Detroit. He gets beat early. This is the second goal of the first period. Fedorov to Kozlov. Upstairs, nobody home there. Detroit wants to shoot high on Howie Boulin. Great pass here from Primo to Yzerman. What a pretty goal. Steve Yzerman got a little bit ugly here late. Look at the stick of Manson. Winnipeg's penalty leader hits Fedorov behind the right knee, and down he goes. He heads to the locker room. You know, JB, Calle Johansson and Mark Tenorti, who both now play for Washington, suffered injuries as a result of the same type of play. We'll have to wait and see what happens with Sergei Fedorov.
Let's hope he is not serious, as that was indeed. All right, folks, a lot more exciting Stanley Cup playoff action coming your way next week here on Fox. Check your local listings for the game in your area. Scott Ackerson, our producer, loves choice cuts. Up next.
MasterCard presents the NHL Play of the Week. Jocelyn Thibault was a smash on Broadway.
And a save by Thibault, and he shuts it off the doorstep. Great goaltending.
Brett Hall starred in Shorthanded in St. Louis.
He scores!
But Peter Nedved gets top honors for his 4-overtime thriller.
It's over! Peter Nedved has done it!
MasterCard, official card of the NHL and proud sponsor of the NHL Play of the Year.
And welcome back to Hollywood and the NHL on Fox. You know, when the playoffs come around, the spotlight, no doubt, is directly on the stars. It's time for them to shine, because if they don't, their season is over. Now, what the past couple of weeks has shown is that some of those stars have become supernovas. Listening to the oohs and ahs of my partner Dave Maloney underscores the fact that sometimes you just have to marvel at the abilities of these tremendous athletes. All right, folks, the Stanley Cup playoffs continue this week on ESPN and ESPN2 as the conference quarterfinals conclude. There will be no action tomorrow night. However, there could be 3 Game 7s on Tuesday, and ESPN and ESPN2 will take you there. Check your local listings for the game and time in your area. Regardless, ESPN will have round 2 beginning Thursday. And don't forget to catch all the Stanley Cup action on your local regional cable outlet as well. And the NHL on Fox continues after this.
Inside Molson Center, the fans milling around in the concourses, and also inside the fabled names of past success. The Canadiens' own Hall of Fame, a celebration of championships, including 24 Stanley Cups, won in 46, 56, 66, 76, 86, 96.
The NHL on Fox. The Stanley Cup playoffs are brought to you by the Michelin X1, because so much is riding on your tires. By Jeep, makers of the new award-winning Jeep Grand Cherokee. By the Home Depot, where low prices are just the beginning. And by Bud Ice, the official beer sponsor of the NHL.
The Rangers trying to put their signature on this series. Speaking of signatures, go ahead, say it.
Oh, baby.
Oh,
God.
baby. All right, turning point in the second period. Canadians seem to have it going for a while.
And then a couple of bad penalties. The Rangers' power play worked for them, and Montreal they were in as a team in a position where they couldn't afford to do it. They did it. The Rangers took advantage of it. And the Rangers really need this period to win the series simply because they need some rest. There's some banged up people. And, of course, Montreal again starts the period on the power play, and they need it badly, trailing by 3.
Time to take a look at our Bud Ice statistics. Shots on goal, 24-18. The scoring chances advantage Rangers. The face-offs advantage Montreal. Penalty minutes more to the Rangers. And 51 seconds of time still hanging up on the big center ice scoreboard to Mark Messier for high sticking late in the second period. So will these be the last 20 minutes for this turbulent year in Montreal Canadiens history, when they started with a goalie named Waugh and a coach named Demers, and changed both and changed arenas? We'll see. Brisebois turns from the draw and hands on to Wilkie. Then to Recchi, but then Bukabu. Wilkie has to retreat and give over to Brisebois. Goal scores for the Rangers were Verbeek, Graves, Kovalov, Curry, and Lidster, Recchi, and Turgeon for Montreal. Jari Kurri, very deliberate, no hurry. More time goes off the clock as he sent it down. For the last 22 of the man advantage. Wilkie with a pass on over to Mark Recchi. Recchi angles to the Samuelson corner. Off the glass and out of harm's way. 10 to go on the man advantage. Wilkie has to take. Graves and Bill Berg up front. Samuelson we mentioned. Lidster we did not. He is the other defenseman. Now here's Turgeon. Save, rebound, score! Brisebois!
What a pass again by Don Foose. Big save by Mike Richter, and again, and we've mentioned it a number of times, the defense in on the rush. This was after the power play had expired. First pass is a beauty. 4-on-3, and it's going to be the Don Foose quick pass, beautiful save on Turgeon, and there's Brisebois, the defender, jumping in on the play. Look at the Rangers. 2 of them went at 1. That was Don Foose. That opens up the ice to 3-on-2, now a 2-on-1. There's the rebound. Brisebois finishes, and in the first minute of this third period, a big-time goal by Montreal. And the Rangers have had habits in this series of giving up leads in third periods.
Turgeon and Don Foose get the assists on Brisebois' first. At 56 seconds, the gap at one time was 4. It has now been closed to 2. So Leach takes on the tap from Richter. Leach and Bukaboom, Messier and Graves and Verbeek. Kovalenko working with Koivu as well as Turner Stevenson, with Kaintal working along with Odeline on defense. And trouble as Koivu was forechecking and knocked it away from Leach. Kaintal back to take it. Verbeek on him. Follow up from Leach, right back on for Messier, and he rolls it in. Odeline stepping behind to get it. Then Stevenson. Taken away by Messier. Fed for Graves. It trickled back, and Bukaboom put it back in, and it's a delayed offside. The arm of the linesman comes down as the Canadiens move it ahead. Odeline rolled it, but it's taken and controlled by Bruce Driver. Away from Churla, who could not receive that, or it would have been stopped for a pass over 2 lines. Brisebois again. 2:05 played in the third, but his team is alive. They trail by 2. Savage able to dip back out. Savage trying to walk through. Pivots. Look. Wilkie with a shot. Pad stop Richter. Rebound, and it's blocked by Lowe on defense. Recchi was trying to lift it high into the net. Lowe had it taken away by Turgeon. Fed around behind. It is Savage trying to center. Driver on him. Recchi out. Turgeon, who is angry.
And he should be. He should have finished. He really should have scored on the play as Savage, Recchi, and Turgeon control the board deep, and this young Montreal team, with now some of their veteran players playing better, getting it going. Richter will make the second save right here. Bang! But the Rangers can't control the puck. They look to be okay. Tenacious forechecking. Turgeon working on Kevin Lowe. Help from Recchi. 3 forwards deep. Now Turgeon's in front by himself. Watch the pass. And he flubbed the shot. The shot actually went off the toe of the blade of his stick. In front, Recchi with a beautiful pass to Turgeon. Savage to Recchi. Watch Recchi get the puck. He knows where Turgeon is. And right off the toe of the blade, and not a good shot at all. Richter able to make a huge save.
Fed behind by Curry. Blasted off by Samuelson. Wilkie retreats to play it. 2:40 gone in the third period. Canadiens trailing by 2, but attacking. Dom Foose floats it ahead. Benoit Brunet. Had it knocked away by Samuelson. Bure around for Brunet. Samuelson canceled him out. Vincent Dom Foose. That skipped through. Taken though by Bure. Out in front, and a save made by Richter. Rebound. Another shot, and that one went wide off Brunet's stick.
This Montreal club is walking off the backboards. In other words, controlling the puck deep, and they have more strength than the Rangers. They're walking out to the front, getting shots.
This is Dom Foose. Has Bure. Dom Foose's pass ricocheted off a skate. Brunet circles with it. Wanted to cycle it to Bure, but that failed. So now it's Lidster the other way for the Rangers. But it's kept alive by Wilkie. Wilkie trying to pivot and control. Hands on to Brunet. Brunet feeds one. Rising shot off the glove of Richter. And it's thrown back down the ice for an icing touch-up by Wilkie. Oh, man.
The Rangers by 2. Montreal forcing. Look at Bure. Find a way to get the shot on goal. Look at the catching glove. Oh, baby. And you can see Samuelson was on Bure. The Montreal bench wanted a penalty. They were irate. Nothing was called. But don't take it away from Richter. A big-time save.
Centering pass cut by Messier. Don Koharski breathes a little easier, the referee, because he was in the way of that pass. Now it is for Beaton. Odeline checked by Graves. Graves, good body position around behind. Adam Graves with a trickler in front, and Koivu has that. Turner Stevenson too far for Odeline. Richter floated it back off.
That would have been icing if he let it go. Richter didn't see it. His defenseman was there first. That would have been icing.
Responsibility is probably on the defenseman to talk to him back there, but let's check out this Pizza Hut game break. To Hollywood and James Brown.
Doc and JD, those pesky Caps refuse to fold. Take a look at the Caps in white. Dale Hunter looking for a teammate, looking, and it's a slicing Sergei Gonchar to the net. He scores. It's now a 1-goal game, 3-2. And by the way, Sergei Fedorov survived the slash of Dave Manson. He's okay. Back to Mike and JD.
Good news for Red Wings fans about Fedorov.
That's why they call Dave Manson Charlie Manson. Ken Regan, by the way, outstanding in that game to this point. Who was on the ice again when the goal was scored? Dale Hunter for Washington.
Brisebois shot screamed wide. Curry chopped. Came back to him second time, and it scaled back.
Not another team in the league had more third-period comebacks this season than did Washington. So they just don't fold. They just don't quit. It'll be a tough win for Pittsburgh.
It is Recchi. Lidster and Savage. but then Turgeon. Ulf Samuelsson to that one. Then to Bill Berg, and a little safety for the Rangers as Curry brings it ahead. Jari Curry shovels off to Sundstrom. Floated one that got the glass. And then Mark Recchi stick. Tap loose by Sundstrom. Curry thrubbed it in further. And so Wilkie again. A quarter of the third period has been played. The Canadiens have gotten one here. In the early stages, Brisebois from Turgeon and Damphousse at 56 seconds to cut the Ranger lead to 2. It is Prairie with a pass that's away from Quintal. Moving back is Driver. Oh, did he ever get out of the way of a reef job by Quintal? It is Brunet skipping one around, and Damphousse centers. But it is Momento, and it is out.
Montreal's defense doing a lot of pinching, going deep at every opportunity, trying to control the boards as the Rangers are coming up the boards with the puck.
Brunet, big drive, and it went wide to the short side. An 81-mile-an-hour shot by Benoit Brunet. Offside called against the Rangers with 14:09 to go in the third.
Down below in the referee's locker room, that's Lance Roberts riding the stationary bike. He is the backup official, was also the backup for Game 5. He has to be ready if Don Koharski has a problem. So he's trying to limber up, stay loose. He also watches the game, as you see on the monitor there. You see the clock in behind his head. You can barely see it there. 14:09 to go here in the third period. If he had to leave that room to come on the ice and take over for Koharski, he'd already have a flavor for what's gone on in the game by watching it.
A referee all during the year, and Tim Nowak, a linesman all during the season, in case there is an injury to a linesman, is ready. Leach a shot. Oh, it was deflected just off the outside of the goal near the post. Now Stevenson's pass right on the money for Kovalenko. Kovalenko moving ahead with it, rammed to the boards, and it's tapped back out. Quintal must move back to play it. Away from Verbeek. Bangs it off, and Messier taps it. Messier able to get it further, but now Koivu. Rangers in the midst of a fire drill shift change. Koivu got by one. Wedged down by Curry. Sundstrom given a good shoulder by Kovalenko. Man. And now it's Brisebois.
And Montreal now is out shooting the Rangers, 25-24. At one time, it was 10-3 in favor of the Rangers in the first half of the first period.
It's 7-2 Montreal in this period. Forced on back now. Brisebois with it. Angles it back across. Wilkie's pass is off Turgeon.
The last shift Brisebois had, he fell down hard at his own blue line. Hardly got to the bench, but he comes back strong, it looks like.
Chopped in by Turgeon. Forced back out again by Ulf Samuelsson. And it's Recchi. Has Samuelsson come to the bench in the last hour? Man, here's Recchi moving ahead. Recchi back to Turgeon. Flips one off of Lindster. And Lindster drove it back out. Elbow bone chip. Shot off a foot. None of it seems to matter to Samuelsson, and the Rangers are ahead by 2.
Montreal has lost Savage. Watch, I think it's Churla moving across. The left leg on left leg, shoulder on shoulder, and Savage went down. Could hardly get to the bench. Was helped off to the locker room with a lot of problems on his left leg, as you see there. Great deal of pain. Could hardly put weight on it. And then Montreal took a penalty for too many men on the ice. They now have sent Bure to the penalty box to serve it. And Mario on the inside right now is steamed. I mean steamed, and I'm not sure who at.
Boy, you look back at this. Wolfie Samuelsson with a little wedge on a chance by Bure, and here's a see no evil sign.
You know now. They took a lot of bench penalty minutes during the regular season, more than anybody. I think it was 34. And here, this one hurt, or could hurt. Let's put it that way.
Puck forced back off, and it's Driver. Hands back over now to Leach. Leach to Driver again. Shoots one. It's deflected just wide. Popovic drilling it back off. Wrapped on around for a good keep, though, by Driver. Wedged it along further. Popovic there to get it. Sent it back, and Driver again with a good keep. Then Pat Verbeek up with it. Verbeek got it as far as the corner. Mark Messier feeding along to Verbeek. Verbeek still working, got it on to Messier. Verbeek again, and back to Driver. Opposite side to Leach. Bouncing puck. Bureau, rather, was able to hack it into the seats. And so the clock stops.
But it was a pass broken up by Koivu again. He's been brilliant in this game, especially killing penalties. When he's off the ice, that's when the goals are being scored. Rangers have 2 in this game, as you just saw, and 8 in the series, along with a shorthanded goal, and it's really made a difference for them. This is a young man who came into the league as a rookie. Going into the NHL, he was thought of as the best hockey player outside the NHL at the time. Has a nice salary, well over $1 million, as he found a loophole in the collective bargaining agreement. Congratulations to him. And he is a good player.
Kovalov hands it across. Leach with a shot, and that one deflected away by Kane Call. Now Nemchinov. Limited duty today. Puck knocked along.
And the Canadiens needed that. Cantel has broken his stick. The defenseman was in trouble. But now there's 45 seconds to go, and he has gotten himself a new stick.
You mentioned the bench minor minutes to Montreal. They had 10 minors for too many men on the ice and were scored on the resulting power plays twice. Fairly high number around the league. Kane Call trying to work his way through, but Leach able to foist it away, and here's a 3-on-1. Robitaille with Kovalov and Nemchinov. Robitaille to Kovalov. Save made by Jablonski. And now it may be an odd man rush back the other way. Right now just a 2-on-2. Brunet in, drops to Danfus. A shot is deflected to the seats by old Samuelford.
And Montreal breathes some life. They still have it. What a save by Jablonski. A 3-on-1. There's a souvenir. Pretty happy guy there. Hide it. It's mine now. What a save this was. You see Cantel shorthanded. 3 Montreal players up of their 4, including the 2 defensemen. Cantel and Oderline. Back is Danfus. He plays it pretty well. He goes for the pass, and then there's a shot and kicked away. That trapped 3 Rangers. Look at Danfus. Look at his eyes following the puck, thinking pass. Now it's Kovalov to the glove side. Kick save. Jablonski did his job for his team, and they're still alive.
At the conclusion of the game, John and I will select the Jeep Eagle player of the game. 10:44 left in the third. 11 seconds still left on the too many men on the ice penalty to Montreal.
Do you believe that? Montreal shorthanded both their defensemen. Shorthanded in front of Mike Richter. Both of them. Only Danfus was back.
Verbeek trickles it in. Jablonski sets it up. Brisebois blasted back out. The teams are back at full strength. The Canadiens have killed it off. Lidster with a pass, back up for Verbeek, and off the glass, and then Jablonski's stick. Brisebois once more. Verbeek in the way of that, turns it over to the Rangers. Verbeek then over for Graves. Graves taken off by Kovalenko. Pat Verbeek trying to fight his way to the front. Given a good swat by Brisebois. Kovalenko and Graves go to play. They cancel, and so Recchi chapped it back out. The halfway point of the third period. And the puck sailed into the seats. A 5-3 Rangers advantage in the contest.
Rangers now make a change. Kevin Lowe, playing for the Rangers, has a very bad left wrist. He was hit here in Game 4 of the series by Mark Bureau. A very heavy, hard hit. His elbow went into his body. His left hand was exposed like this, and Bureau came in, jamming his hand back like that. Heavily sprained his wrist. He had a soft cast put on it for a little while, and now he just has taken the cast off, and all he's doing is having it taped for the game. Before the game, he was walking around with a gob of goo that, I don't know what it is, silly putty stuff, squeezing it to loosen up his wrist.
Moving in was Wilkie, but he lost it because of the checking of Curry. Kevin Lowe, one of several Rangers with championships. He's got 6. So does Mark Messier. And it's not because he has a low pain tolerance, obviously.
Well, he played with a broken bone in his hand back in the playoffs against Montreal. Mike McPhee, who was playing for Montreal, and jammed his wrist in a very similar fashion. And he kept right on playing.
Wilkie down. Lowe pitched it on for Curry. Turgeon trying to wedge him out.
See Curry turn and go to the boards with the puck, not through the middle. You can't go through the middle with the puck.
Turgeon for Brashear.
Now, this is a surprise. 9 minutes to go, team down by 2, and Brashear getting a shift.
Man.
He hasn't scored a goal all season. Very, very surprising.
Yeah, just kind of keep an eye on this situation. Churl is out there, too.
I think Montreal just hoping that he'll grind some people, open the ice up for Koivu, who is on the ice with him.
Nemchinov moving in. Off of Jablonski's stick, and he dove to knock it away. He's lost his goal stick, but Koivu dumped it off the board. Here's Leach now shooting one. Still without his stick. It's 20 feet away. It's Jablonski. Odeline couldn't play it, but Koivu could. Now the stick taken back to him by Cantal, so Jablonski's okay. Brashear ahead, rammed at the line, and it's Leach up with it. And off the glass, and there'll be a penalty coming up. The penalty will be on Montreal, and the call is a slash with 8:13 left.
Well, you usually need your stick. Jablonski on a head-on collision with Sherla lost his. He does a pretty good job on Sherla. Never gets the shot on goal. Goalies will practice during practices without a stick, just in case you have to play without it. Dominic Hasek, the great Buffalo goaltender, you could hardly score on him when he practices without his goal stick. He's that good.
Koivu is in the box on a slash. It is Graves flipping one off a skate, and it's jammed wide by Domfus. Boy, if there was one guy the Canadians need short-handed, it's the guy who's sitting in the box now, Koivu. Verbeek tried to get to the front. Puck squibbed across the net mouth, thrown back out. Brune able to tap it further. Fitzpatrick and Popovic. The forwards, Domfus and Brune. The Canadians need 2. They have just under 7.5. And a minute 15 of that, they're going to be short-handed. Messier play. Messier got it on through to Leach. Backhander knocked loose and then held by Jablonski.
It's a great save. The Rangers kept the puck in at the blue line. Leach darted in. The Rangers want to make sure they don't turn the puck over short-handed with a 2-goal lead and just over 7 minutes to go. And a marvelous, marvelous save here. See Leach dart in. He's got no room except for top side, stick side. And Jablonski kept his balance just long enough to squeeze the puck into his body. The Messier pass, one-on-one. There's a little room up there. And you can see the save made. Somehow, something hit the water bottle, knocking it up. It may have been the stick of Jablonski, as he's really been good coming in, down 4-0. He's only given up 1 goal. In fact, the score with him in goals, 3-1 Montreal.
Right.
He's been good.
Yeah. Puck back to the point, and it's Driver. Nemchinov works it in deep. Gets it back again. Played back by Kovalov to Nemchinov. Bruce Driver to Nemchinov again. Directing traffic out there is Robitaille. Pass escape back to Driver. Leach with a little tap pass over to Robitaille. Tried for Nemchinov, but it's cut off. Canadians have to take a chance now, but it's broken up. Kovalov in front. Oh, Nemchinov couldn't jam it home. Back now to Leach again. Down to the last half minute of the power play.
The most power play time Nemchinov has had all season long. And what they're doing is they're leaving Curry off the power play to save him for defense since they have the lead. I'm convinced that's what the coaching staff for the Rangers is doing.
Cantal able to step ahead. And a penalty coming up. It'll be against the Rangers. Both teams will be a man short for 10 seconds, and then a crucial power play for Montreal. The penalty is to Kovalov for hooking. Koivu you see in the box. He still has 10 seconds to serve. Kovalov with 2 full minutes on the hooking rap. And then Montreal will have a tremendous opportunity to get back to within 1.
You give us and take us. Kovalov giveth his team a goal with a great play. And here it was a needless hook right at the Montreal blue line. And he sits. It's now power play Montreal as Koivu's out of the box.
On comes Domfus to Turgeon, and a save. Richter rebound swung at and missed by Koivu. Back along the boards it escaped Wilkie, and coming across Brisebois. Graves sent it further. Canadians back to recoil.
Kevin Lowe's gone to the bench. He took something up in the face. He's been clipped up near his left eye.
Domfus fires it back in. Around near Curry. Driven but to Turgeon. Turgeon hit, but he got it along to Brisebois behind to Domfus. Domfus looks for Koivu, but a shot by Wilkie was on goal and saved by Richter. They can't clear. It's Turgeon right back over to Wilkie again. Wilkie fed it off to Koivu. Domfus at the front, jostled a bit by Curry. It's Koivu behind Domfus. And another shot! And hanging on is Richter.
That ever a smart play by Montreal, and a great save by Richter. Just smart down-low play. Oh, man. Earlier as the power play began for Montreal, Kevin Lowe in his own zone, tied up with Dom Foose. Catches the stick right there and eclipses his face on the left side. Now here, look at Koivu. Nice play. Wrap around, and Richter was already there doing the splits, most of his body in the goal net. But the key is to get the goal stick flat on the ice, not the blade, the shaft. Look at that. Takes away any chance of a low shot. On a wraparound attempt like that, you can't put it high. 99% of the time, you just wrap it around. It's a shot on the ice. Richter with a great reaction off a great read. Got the shaft of his stick down there and kept the puck out of the net, even on the rebound.
Clear dominance by the Rangers in the first 10 minutes. They scored 3 goals in a minute 2 and jumped to a 4-0 lead. Chasing Jocelyn Thibault. Montreal came back, and the rally has continued here as Wilkie shoots, and that blocked down by the defense of Bukaboom, and play is stopped.
Bukaboom hurting. He had his body turned. He just came back from the locker room. He had a skate problem, had it repaired, and now he's having trouble. The equipment a hockey player wears is mostly on the front of his body, very little on the back side. He's tied up with Bourret. He sees the shot coming. Now he goes down, but it's delayed a little bit by Wilkie. By the time the shot's taken, you see right on the back. And right on the back, below his armpit on the rib cage, and there's nothing there but a little bit of an undergarment and the jersey itself. Now, he caused a delay. He has to go off with the trainer. He's not allowed to stay on the ice. So the Rangers have Samuelson and Leach on as a pair. That was a big block on Wilkie, who has just a terrifically hard wrist shot. So now it's Messier opposite Turgeon for this important face-off. 53 seconds to go on the Kovalov minor.
And 5:15 in regulation. The deficit for the Canadiens, 2. Right in front, and Richter put the grab on it. And we'll wait for another face-off.
Taking no chances at all.
Next Sunday, it's the Stanley Cup Conference semifinals, and the NHL on Fox will be there to bring you all the action as the best players in the league face off for the most historic prize in all of sports. Coverage begins at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 Pacific. Check local listings for the game and time in your area right here on Fox. Dom Foose poised. His captain, Pierre Turgeon, will try to win it away from the Rangers captain, Mark Messier. Bukaboom hacks it back off. Wilkie able to close and keep. Wilkie got it over to Brisebois. Rangers fan out pretty well on the kill. 40 seconds to go on the power play. Dom Foose shook one off the back of the net, and Graves whips it all the way back down. So Jablonski sets for Brisebois. Half a minute to go in the man advantage. Canadiens need 2. Knocked away by Curry. Good follow-up by Recchi, though. Recchi back across to Brisebois. Curry right after him. It is Wilkie. Wilkie battles with Leach. It's chopped behind. Recchi had it knocked away by Bukaboom. Still, they try to consume time and do. 13 seconds still left.
The last face-off won cleanly by Mark Messier, and Wilkie, the rookie, does a great job. Watch the shoot around by Bukaboom hard. Wilkie, watch this. Now he stops there. Now if you can hold it for a second, see how he's a right-handed shot? He had to put his body up along the boards to keep the puck in the zone. Montreal has a lot of right-handed shots as far as their defense goes. Only one left-hander. 5 of the 6 are right-handed shots. When you go up against the boards like that, it's hard to keep the puck in the zone. Yet Wilkie was able to do it, gave his team a chance at more offense until Graves fired the puck out of the zone.
The one lefty is Popovic, but he doesn't see action on the power play much. Still 13 seconds to go in the advantage to Montreal. 4:35 left to go in the third. Right in on goal, Richter the tap, Samuelson the toss. Kane Tall kept for a moment, but now it's spirited back down, and Odeline will go to get it.
Messier took every defensive draw during that Montreal power play, and he won every draw.
Back ahead, Odeline. And that one just trapped in the breadbasket by Richter. An impressive stat on Messier. Despite sinuses, he's impressive again. Colin Campbell's team is ahead by 2. Ronald Corey's team is the trailing squad right now. His seat right behind the bench in the front row. The chairman of the board and the president of the team. A storied team that has never won the first 2 on the road in a series and lost the series.
Can you imagine if the Rangers win this one, losing 3 in a row on home ice? Unheard of.
Recky's shot is wide and is trapped and held by Richter.
Richter every single time is freezing the puck, slowing down the thrust of the Montreal Hockey Club. Mario Tremblay in this series has used fewer players more than the Rangers. The Rangers have spread out their ice time a lot more, and the Rangers' feeling was that may have something positive with their team as the series moved along, even though Montreal won the first 2 games of this series. And right now, Mario just has to get his best players on the ice, and here we have an even strength shift. And you see Damphousse, Turgeon, Recchi, along with Wilkie and Brisebois. That's their power play unit. The power play unit on the ice here for Montreal, trailing by 2 at even strength.
This faceoff comes to Ulf Samuelsson. From the rail past Sundstrom. Curry taps further. Damphousse steamed it back in. 3:45 to go. Samuelsson blasted back off. A keep momentarily for Brisebois, but now it's Curry back on to Mark Messier. Messier couldn't get a shot away. Curry follows up, though. Jari Curry muscled around by Brisebois, just shakes it off and hands to Sundstrom. Messier checks with Turgeon. Wrapped around for Damphousse. 2 goals in the first game for Damphousse. 2 goals, 2 assists in the second game. Vincent Damphousse has only those goals for the series. He has been shut down by the Rangers tightly ever since.
Actually, only 1 assist since. 1 assist since game 2 for Damphousse.
Odeline saw that one go back deeper, so he's got to get it with 3 minutes to go. A steal by Graves. Can't pull the trigger on it, though, and it's Bure again. Odeline hands on to Quintal. Lift one off them. Tito, quick shot knocked down by the defense. Leach got in the way of that shot. Richter was moving toward where he thought it would go, and Leach, for the Ranger fortunes, was able to block it down in front of him.
You know, Bure on the ice, number 18 for Montreal, closing in on 20 shots on goal in the series, has yet to score. Can't beat Richter.
Odeline with a blast back down, snagged by Richter with 2:20 to go. Ryan Leach with a pass ahead to Curry. Jari Curry just plops one back to the corner.
Soft cross corner dump in so Sundstrom can move in and hit the defenseman. Rangers done a lot of that in the series.
Recchi rammed by a football block from Samuelsson. Curry tapped it further, and Messier steps back in. Mark Messier with a shot, and it went wide. Lister checked off by Damphousse. Now it's Jari Curry. Wilkie trying to wedge him to the boards. And Don Koharski stops the clock with 1:47 to go in the third. In the third period, Mark Messier is 9 for 10 on faceoffs. 9 for 10 in the third.
And you know, Montreal is not a good faceoff team. They've tried to generate offense in the Rangers zone where a lot of those faceoffs have been, and Messier just wins. He is one of the better centermen regarding draws in the entire league. The only time he had a bad stretch was when he had an injured wrist, and he couldn't win faceoffs, didn't take many of them. Things winding down here, 1:47 to go. Face-off in the Montreal zone. When will Jablonski go to the bench? Only that man knows. Mario Tremblay has to make that decision. In Game 5 of the series, they pulled Thibault with 1:41 to go in the third period and developed some chances.
We're just under that now. Wide of Richter. Kookaboo played it along.
Jablonski's looking. I don't know why he's not going to the bench. I really don't know.
Rolled down by Leach. Brisebois pursued by Graves.
Turgeon, I think, will be the man to come on if Jablonski gets to the bench. And here he comes now. Turgeon will be the man.
The extra man out is Turgeon, as you mentioned, just stepped onto the ice. Now it's Wilkie firing it back around, and the Rangers just waiting for it. Shunt it back down the ice, and it will go wide from Lister. So 1:02 to go. Icing touch-up, face-off back near Richter, and the Canadiens have to get 2 in 62 seconds.
Rangers have used their timeout to slow down Montreal during the second period. Now Montreal will use theirs. And this guy deserves some credit. Jablonski played well for his club, stepping in off the bench to play for the first time in the series.
Well, he didn't get a warm-up, of course. That's not allowed. And he didn't get any work right away. I don't know if he went out in the hall and had him shoot tennis balls at him between periods or not, but he was sharp. Our G. Beagle player of the game is the Rangers' Mike Richter. G. Beagle is proud to donate $1,000 to the Amateur Hockey Association of his choice.
He's made some key saves at key times when his team has had the lead over the last 4 games. The second one here, he got his legs up, his arm up. He seems to battle when it looks like he's about to be scored on. He can hang in there. He can find a way. Never stop working on a puck and just make save after save. Now he'll rob Turgeon here. This was early in the 3rd period. Mike Richter's had a brilliant series, back showing the form he showed in '94 when the Rangers won the Stanley Cup. Jablonski is on the bench. Turgeon's going to go opposite Messier, who's had a great 3rd period on draws. Here we go.
Richter has started 42 of his team's last 52 playoff games. And in that stretch, he has won a championship with Turgeon and Messier for the draw. Tangled in skate. The scrum continues. It's Brisebois shooting. Knocked down. Turgeon could not pull the trigger on a shot. Fed around behind, and it's Bukaboom rolling it back off. So now Turgeon moves to play. Jams it back to Leach. Leach shoveled it back off the wall. Wilkie takes it there. 40 seconds to go. Koivu gave it up to Leach. Just shovels it back. Wilkie again with 35 left. Wilkie's pass skipped back down. Richter with a little tap behind. It's drilled back off by the defense. Picked up though by Domfus. Fed to the back. Wilkie fires off the glove of Richter. Still they scrap with 21 to go. Off the back of the net, it's hand passed around by Bukaboom. Worked back behind by Brisebois, taken by Domfus. Domfus tried to center. Bukaboom in the way. Down to the last 11. The puck sent back down the ice. Striding back for it is Wilkie. 6 and 5 to go. One more face-off. 4.7 left. And the New York Rangers, who dropped the first 2 of this series, have come barreling back to step into the second round.
And the Rangers kept Yari Curry away from the power play to have him for situations like this, for situations such as penalty killing. And he just made another good play on the ice here late in the 3rd period. One more face-off doesn't matter much right now. Earlier, he stripped somebody of the puck, about to shoot it. Just a brilliant player defensively. Messier wins the last draw. Rangers win the series. For Kevin Lowe, he had never been in a position where he lost the first 2 games on home ice. Yet they came back to win 4 straight. The Rangers never panicked. Never once did they panic in this series as a team. For Montreal, 7 21-year-old players on their hockey club, and their young players played very, very well. Much better than some of the veteran players.
Rangers gather around Mike Richter, congratulate him and themselves. A wonderful series. 4 games decided by a goal, 1 by 1 plus an empty net goal, and this one by 2 today. Not a fight in the series, but a ton of fire.
It really was. Specialty teams, you wonder what they do in the playoffs. Some people said the key would be the goalies. Richter won that battle as the series moved along. Some said specialty teams. The Rangers won that battle as the series moved along. And I think that was the key here. Specialty teams and goaltending. Maybe the leadership of the leadership of Mark Messier in games 3 and 4 when they won them both.
The final score, the Rangers 5, the Canadiens 3. The final in the series, the Rangers 4, the Canadiens 2. We'll be back in a moment.